Welcome, folks, to the latest episode of Pubcast Plays Dungeons and Dragons. Again, Wayne, here are all your players. Sans one particular player because of how the last episode ended, but we will get to that shortly.
Yeah.
First off,
we operate on method role playing here. We killed her off IRL as well, so.
Ryan, you weren't supposed to say anything.
Too many witnesses.
Everyone's
It's fine. They don't know where the body is, so it's grand.
It's grand.
It's just in her gaff, but it's so far rural that nobody fucking knows.
Just taking so long to get there and figure it out. Last time I tried to get to Kim's house, we got lost and ended up just having to go home.
Yeah.
That actually happened. It was the christening. I think it was Pat's christening or Rebecca's christening, and myself and Irene did our best to try and get to that house.
Yeah.
But it was typical. I'll tell you exactly how I was described, and Kim is going to kill me for this. This is how Kim described the directions to the house. You need to go down and find the green bush, and then next to the green bush there'll be a load of balloons tied. Take a left at the balloons, keep going up, and then you'll see a tree that's fallen over. Next to the tree that's fallen over, there's another road. You go down that road and you find the house. They were the directions I was given to get to Kim's house. In the middle of fucking nowhere.
I want you, Wayne. If you'd be a legend if you can fit that in. When we get our next quest and we're asking for directions, if you
follow the balloons.
Directions.
Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to my dad where Kim lived, and I was like, "Sure, I'll just Google Maps it and show you." Google Maps doesn't go up her lane. It's the whole country.
You were.
Ooh, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Bring it back in. Where we left off in the last episode, the group had made their way to the town of Breston, making it true they'd freed a load of prisoners and had confronted what they thought was the sorcerer Diliscoval. It turned out to be a mind flayer under his control. They made their way inside a large crystalline spider entity that was looming over the city that lowered itself down, allowing them to enter. Inside, they found countless mind flayer pods, some with bodies in them. One of the bodies they found in one of the pods was that of Carrick Johnson, the dwarf engineer that had helped them previously in Breston. He was unconscious at the time, but they had to continue on into the large central chamber where they found the body of Diliscoval connected to a mind flayer hive mind, the large brain that was embedded in this ceiling of this crystalline spider interior. When they tried to approach, they were confronted by Flayer assassins that flanked them on the steps that's wound up around towards where the body of Koal was, and a fight ensued. During the fight, Codeine was heavily injured and retreated into Loran's little tiny hut, where Loran and Codeine kind of hatched a plan of self-sacrifice in order to thwart the plans of Koval.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely to twerk a lot.
Yeah, that's exactly what Loran wanted to do. More combat ensued, and Codeine seemingly, the only people that knew this, Codeine and Loran, Codeine sacrificed herself trying to attack the brain. It didn't go to plan, but then Norman helped and dispatched Codeine with a couple of Eldritch Blasts, sending her body twirling back through the interior of the spider. Upon retrieving Codeine's body, Loran brings it in and sets it down. Aratir brings it in, sets it down, and Loran offers to heal. But instead of healing Codeine, takes his blade and jams it into the base of her skull, killing her instantly. And that is where we left off in the last episode. The group all looking on. Talazar just re-entering the room after being knocked into the adjacent room, enters in and sees this in front of him. Ogun has leapt onto Norman in shock as the party seemingly turning on itself, and Aratir raging and readying her battle axe. Loran looking up at the brain, tauntingly, if so, just to say, look, how is your plans now? And that's where we're going to pick up in this month's episode. Straight away, all of you standing there in shock, you feel the room, a chill starts to just burst across the room. As from where the brain is, this inky blackness starts to seep out and form tendrils that quickly shoot out and wrap themselves around the body of Codeine, pulling it out of Loran's grasp and up onto the altar next to where the body of Dillis Quval lies. There is a pulse of arcane energy that rips through the room, kind of knocking you all back a bit. Norman, you feel a flash in the back of your brain as your body your now withering body kind of has to hold itself up against the wall to keep itself steady. There above you all, you see Codeine's body wrapped in these inky tendrils that are just pulsating with energy. And there's another flash of arcane energy and a pulse. And Norman, roll me an Arcana check.
Yep. Let me get up my old app. And Arcana. I assume it'll come up.
Yeah.
That come up? Yeah.
15.
15, yeah.
As soon as this energy starts to pulse out again, now readying yourself for it, you realize that this has a horrible tinge of necromancy about it. As the energy pulses through the dead form of Codeine, the inky tendrils place it down beside the altar next to Quval's body. And the body stays upright. She raises her head, and you see her eyes are now an inky black. Her skin ashen. As she stands there next to Quval's body, staring at you all. And a chill again emanates through the room, and you hear a deep, booming voice in all of your heads, not in the room, not coming from anywhere in particular, but in your heads. I was forgotten. Cast out. Trapped in this cursed place for centuries. But no longer. My power grows. The chaos that follows you feeds me. Many have come before you, but none have created such unbridled chaos. And now, killing one of your own, so delightfully chaotic. Is there any reaction from the group? What he is doing at this point?
That's convenient. 1 minute we're all keys, next minute we're all part of a plan. Now you're saying it's all chaos. I feel like no matter what we do, you just win. So conjures a little white flag.
Okay.
Can you do that?
I don't know, really.
You've been able to. You've pulled out on us.
You know,
I could have used that for loads of other times. It'd be awesome to have.
I summon my bee and it flies over.
Aratir is still in shock. Like, her initial reaction is to tear heads off, but also having heard this voice is like, what the fuck? Like, we need to get out of here.
Wayne, Ogun is still
hanging off Norman, yeah.
I'm enraged. My brain is chaotic. It's reliving stuff now and stuff in the past, and then has this person in it. And I'm kind of trapped in a kind of moment, and I'm just gonna say, out to Norman, why'd you kill her? She was like a sister to us, Galmar. I can't believe you killed Fire Mask. No, you shouldn't have done it. And I'll swing again to hit him.
Norman is it's like when a cat is clinging to your arm. Norman's just this the fuck. He's crazy.
I'm looking like I'm swinging some kind of weapon in my hand. So it's I'm not hitting you, but I'm.
He thinks he's people.
But I seem to be somewhere else.
Ogun, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yeah, sure. Hang on.
I am asking a cool name, though. I like that.
I thought her name was Codeine. I've just been
wisdom. Sorry. Oh, cool. That's a 21.
21. You managed to kind of you are raging in your head, and the Wolverine is kind of taken over, but there seems to be something else pushing at it there, and you kind of recenter yourself a bit, and then even as you're saying these names that you've pulled out of nowhere, you're kind of like, what? And you start to catch yourself a bit, and you kind of slow with your attack, but you're still kind of flailing a bit, and you start to question what you're doing yourself. And Norman is just holding you out by the scruff of your neck.
Oh, look at him. Look at him go.
I'll just like a cat, I'll like fucking still berserk, but it's more to get the rage out, if you get me.
Cool.
Aratair has her battle axe in her hand, and she's going to take the top of it, and not hard, but she's going to jab it at Loran to kind of get her attention in his chest and say, you and I are not finished, but right now we need to think about getting out of here.
That was
Yeah.
not necessary.
That looked mad. That
It
was rude.
was mildly annoying, yeah.
I'll give you fucking mildly annoying.
Talazar, what are you doing?
I have just come into the room, so I just clearly see. I'm literally like Donald Glover in Community.
Community, yeah.
Just dropping the pizzas. As I am unsure. So, can you just describe to me what Codeine looks like? Does she look alert, or does she look kind of
She's
zonked
essentially
out of it?
undead Codeine. So her skin is grey and ashen. She's got big black eyes. She's standing there, kind of head tilted to one side, arms down by her side, not moving, but kind of looking down at you all from above, taking it all in.
Is she wearing a red blazer, ready to do a shuffle?
She's not. No, it's not going to get all thriller open here.
Cool. I am going to. What's the brain doing? The brain's just.
The brain is just these black inky tendrils are kind of just flickering out from the side of it. It's slowly pulsating, but it's not doing anything at the moment. You've just heard this like new voice just pierce into your head. There's no movement from anything else in the room, bar your compatriots.
I am going to move forward about 10 or 20 feet, and I'm just going to hold my action that as soon as I see that brain do something, you just see a sparkle of lightning just start to crackle across the staff.
Okay. As you're all kind of just standing there, kind of interacting with each other, doing that, you hear the voice again. He's like, I have used so many as pawns over the centuries. And finally, it has come to fruition. I can feel the barriers between the worlds starting to fall. And it is almost time. I will reach across every realm of existence. And I will bring war, chaos, and death to all. I am the Forgotten One, cast out, but no longer. As he says the final word, you see around the altar up above where the brain is, all of a sudden glyphs start to light up. And it's like in a kind of a circle around that area. And any magic users here can kind of guess that this looks like it's a teleportation circle.
As I start seeing the glyphs, I want to shoot a line of lightning from my staff. Just so I need the brain to make a dexterity saving throw, and any creature that's in front of us. So basically, it's in a line. So I'm arcing it. I'm not aiming it at anyone else. It's in a line directly towards the brain. So if Undead Codeine's in the way, she'll need to make the same save as well.
Sure. 1 second now. I'll get the stats for the brain.
Undead Codeine. It's so upsetting.
Go dead. Okay. Right, so. Right. Oh, this beaut for the brain. What's the DC on that?
17.
17. The brain rolled an 18. No modifier, but it just rolled a flat 18. Yeah. Codeine. Codeine stats are here. She has. Okay, it's +3. Codeine rolled a natural 18 +3, so that's 21.
You still take. That's 12, 18. 3. 8. 2. 38. 2. 21 points of lightning damage.
That's halved, or is that the halve?
No, that is the halved. So
That is the half.
it was 42 total.
Right, so
21.
the energy crackles out and hits the brain, and it seems to deflect off some form of kind of like energy shield that's on the outside of it and bounce off. You see it crackle along the wall down, and it crackles up Codine's body, and you see her twitch and kind of take the hit, but she's kind of shrugs it off and is still left standing. The brain quivers a bit, and electricity flicks over it, and it hits it for 21 damage, but you watch as the teleportation circle seems to complete, and there is a blinding flash of light. And as the blinding flash of light hits, you're all kind of covering yourselves as the entire front section in front of you of this altar just disappears. And the last thing you see in the light, as it kind of seems to blind you all, is Codine's face staring down at you, her black eyes looking at you all, taking you all in. As you come through and start to blink, you notice that you are standing in a section of the room and you just see the town below you as the front section of the spider has completely teleported away. And the back section you're in just starts to teeter slightly.
Oh shit.
And then you started to feel it, the whole area start to fall forward and as gravity takes hold. What are you all doing?
We need to get the fuck out of here.
Sorry, Loran, what were you saying?
I grab onto Norman's legs.
Okay.
So I imagine you're gonna cosplay.
Nope.
Oh shit! Well, then
Okay. So the whole spider starts to fall. You're
Right.
all kind of grabbing yourselves, kind of bolstering yourselves against the wall. What are you all trying to do here in this moment?
I'm gonna. I'm thinking I might try and roll acrobatics and see if I can kind of jump around to stop myself. You know, use the room in such a way that I don't fucking kill myself as it falls.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll acrobatics. Will you see it'll be a shit roll now? 11.
11. Okay. We'll deal with the consequences in a second. Now, what are the rest of you doing?
Like looking down at the wrapped around my leg, and it's just like, well, this wrapped around my leg just to pull me down to my death quicker. This is very symbolic.
I assumed you were going to fly, to be honest.
I only get 2 fucking spell slots to run.
Oh shit!
Are you still holding Ogun while this is happening? As the room is starting to kind of careen off to the side?
Holding him. I kind of figured like he was hanging out of my arm.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you kind of like, when you catch a cat by the scruff of the neck and they can't do anything. So I'm like,
I'm very
I'm
frail.
trying to swipe at you, but there's nothing intelligent there to realize that all I have to do is bite you to let, So that's why I'm just
Like,
swiping.
you have teeth. You could fix this.
Every so often
Okay.
I'm just like shaking my arm, just like get off.
Right, so Talazar, what are you doing?
I am going to. I'm going to use a key point
Yeah.
to use Step of the Wind.
Yeah.
And I am going to dash. So that would mean I can go 90 feet in a dash. And I can try and grab maybe Ogun off of Norman's arm and try and leap out.
Okay.
Do a 3-point landing.
Okay.
My jump distance will be tripled as well from Step of the Wind.
Okay.
So.
Well, give me an acrobatics check with advantage on that one.
Cool. God for advantage. Oh shit. That's a 15. No,
15.
16.
16. Okay. So Loran and Norman, are you still just staying put? Are you just doing anything in particular?
I want to grab all of the cushions and quilts from the tiny hut and put myself in a little swaddle, bracing for impact.
Cool. The tiny hut, just as a question for you. Are you in the tiny hut doing this?
No. Well, I have to go in and get them.
Sure. And as far as the stats of the tiny hut is concerned, nothing can really penetrate that, can it?
Oh, well, I mean, like, it can still be destroyed by, like, an impact.
Okay.
Like, it's not fucking indestructible.
Sure. Okay, that's grand.
Safe zone. But...
All right. I want you to roll me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
And you can add, because you're rolling an acrobatics check with your cushions and everything, your blankets, roll a +2 to the final score. I won't give you advantage on it, but just roll a +2.
Okay. Well, okay. I rolled a 19, and then
okay.
It was going to be a 21 then.
Wow. Okay. Norman, what are you doing?
Honestly, yeah, Norman's kind of drained, so I'm probably just going to try roll with the landing.
Okay, grand. So, roll me an acrobatics check.
Jumping out will just kill me quicker.
Sure.
So,
roll me an acrobatics check with disadvantage because it's Norman and you're not in great shape.
No, I am losing bits.
Yeah.
That one.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
right.
shit.
So all of this happens at once. It's like, and it's just everything's cracking and splintering, and the red crystal all around you is just like shards of it are pushing up. It's like when the Fortress of Solitude and Superman just gets destroyed, and there's like shards of crystals posting up everywhere, and you just feel this whole thing just start to careen forwards, and you all kind of leap in your different directions trying to get to safety. Loran, wrapped in his bundles and his cushions all wrapped around him with a 21, you manage somehow to bounce on, and it's like when you're a kid and you strap cushions to you like armor and you just start bouncing off things, and through some complete fluke you hit and roll just as the thing is coming down. You manage to just boom boom and softly roll and find the section of the ground just away from it, and you're lying flat on your back.
Bringing more of the community references. He's like Pierce when he's wrapped in all of the pillows from the board episodes.
Nice. Aratir, you do jump, and you kind of use your battle axe to push yourself off, and kind of you jam it into the side and slide down as you're cutting through the crystal, but you hit an outcropping and fall, and you kind of hit a rock and tumble, and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you boom, and you roll and kind of skid and then have to get up and run as this large crystalline entity is falling towards you. Talazar, you jump, and as you're jumping, you jump towards Norman to grab Ogun, and you grab him and bundle into your chest and then push off the ground and out into the air. Large chunks of the crystal are falling off, and you Legolas the shit out of it by just hopping on the crystal and then kind of jumping out, and there's a large outcropping of a building off to one side, part of the roof. You land on the roof and roll into a large broken section of the tile in the roof and fall into the top floor of the building. Ogun bundled up inside of you. You roll and push. Ogun, I need you to roll an acrobatics check as well, actually, just to see if you take any damage on the fall, because Talazar's okay, but you're kind of...
I roll a 14 and I +1 to it if it's acrobatics.
15.
Acrobatics, so 15.
You manage to kind of just scramble and you're a ball of fur just rolling into a corner as Talazar loses grip of you on the landing. Norman, you at the last minute decide, you know what, I better move. But you go to jump and your robes are caught under a large falling piece of rock and crystal that jabs into the end of it, and you're pulled and caught, and a boulder comes down, catches you on the side, and you start to come down inside the actual crystalline entity as it shatters into the ground. And you see this large plume of dust come up. Nobody sees Norman leave the entity as it starts to hit the ground and impact. And there's like a cloud of dust and rock and crystals to shatter in a large cacophonous boom all around you as you all kind of start to pick yourself up. With the impact, Norman, your body is pulverized, and you are pulled out of the elven form, and you find yourself dragged up into the air, into this large plume of smoke and crackling crystalline energy that arcs out from this crashing being into the ground. You now are in your corporeal form, floating and shooting upwards like John McClane in Die Hard 2 out of the fucking thing when he's in the ejector seat. He's like, ah! And you're just shooting up through the air, and instinctively you then, as you're kind of gathering your senses, you know that you must find a form soon to kind of inhabit. And that's kind of where we're at the moment. That's where you find yourself.
Okay.
So you're all separated. You're all in different sections as this entity, the remains of the entity, has crashed down into the city of Breston. There are plumes of dust and smoke and crackling red lightning energy just flickering over the landscape around you. You all start to pick yourself up and kind of prevail. Loran, you're kind of lying on your back, and as the dust washes over you, what are you doing?
I lie on my back.
Stay there?
Yeah.
Cool. Aratir, what are you doing? You're kind of you've landed about 60 feet away, and you had to get up and run because other stuff was falling, and you were kind of getting out, dodging it as it falls on top of you. So you've moved about 120 feet away from the wreckage.
Oh, running away from it, dodging the bullets and stuff. Okay. I'm gonna inspect myself for injuries and start looking around to see who I can see who has survived the fall. My first concerns are Ogun and Talazar, because the other two, I kind of feel like, well, fuck them a little bit.
Roll a perception check for me, please.
I'm gonna do now real dice.
Cool.
Just wait till you say. Oh, that is -1, 11.
11.
Yeah.
The dust is kind of around you, and it's you see plumes of smoke are starting to clear.
Does dark vision help in like dust and smoke and stuff? Probably.
What?
Does dark vision help just as a general when there's like that kind of shit in the air, like dust?
It's generally just no light. So like if there's debris and like clouds of smoke, you're gonna have a hard time seeing through it.
Right.
Like fog and stuff, dark vision doesn't automatically allow you to see through that.
Okay.
So you're looking up, but you got an 11. So
yeah,
you kind of look up and you can see then, like, there's a building off to your right hand side, and it's the building that Talazar and Ogun landed in. You can see that there's debris kind of falling from the roof.
Yeah.
And then you see Talazar inside standing up in that building. You're going to see the top of his head and shoulders.
I'm gonna make
off to your left, as the smoke starts to clear, lying on his back, about 50 feet away from you, you can see Loran.
Okay, I'm gonna make my way towards Talazar.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Did I see him grab Ogun? I'm gonna make my way over to Talazar anyway at the first port of call, because I need to understand more of this magic nonsense, because Aratir doesn't do magic. She doesn't know what's
okay. Talazar and Ogun, what are you two doing?
I am letting the adrenaline and the shock and everything hit me, and I am going to fall asleep in Talazar's arms. Never thought I'd say that, but like a cat.
Romantic.
Well, like Wolverine would actually, yeah. Occasionally I'll go.
It's a beautiful moment in all this chaos. Okay.
I'm just like, oh god.
On a side note, Ogun would notice it would be kind of his default setting. Is Tom injured in any way?
Talazar, have you taken any hits?
Yeah, I took a few licks, but I'm okay for now.
Yeah.
What do you like? Just a couple of scratches?
Just a couple of scratches.
All right.
Well, for some, I'm fucked. Well, because in my head, I'm like, Aratir has noticed Talazar, but she's full on like using her battle axe like a staff at this point, because she's like, what the hell? She's not death's door, but she's like, holy fuck, that was an emotional and physical ride, lads.
And not a good one.
No,
happy ending.
Okay, so Norman, you are now up above this kind of area of destruction. You can see the clouds are thinning out, or the smoke clouds are thinning out, and there's energy, red crystalline energy and lightning crackling over certain sections of debris as the remnants of this half of this crystalline entity is left crashed into the town of Breston. But you're now up in the air about 120 feet up, as you're in kind of weird planar corporeal forms floats there, tentacles and eyes and shit, and you're looking down over everything, and you start to feel the pull that you felt before to go find a body, but you have it's like a buffet at this point with the amount of death that's in this area. So I'm gonna let you handle this what way you want. We can roll and see where you go, because I do have a particular setup for this. But what do you want to do with Norman at this point?
So I'm looking kind of down at what is like. So it's a town, right?
Breston, yeah, it's a town, yeah.
Yeah, it's Breston, obviously. What's like? How much of it is left standing?
The central section of it is fucked. It's like a large crater with like huge ravines that have been cut into it where they've been mining this red crystal from the mines below. The outskirts still have some remnants, so it's like a giant donut basically with this huge hole in the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, well, I mean, I can't stay outside too long. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is. I'm getting ready to load up a plate. I'm going hunting.
Okay. How do you want to hunt? Do you want to roll for it, or do you want to start looking around with perception?
I will. Yeah, I'll start looking around. I'll start weighing up my options. It's like buying a new car. I want to see what I'm going to be driving around for the next while.
Cool. Okay. Give me a perception check, please.
Alrighty.
Shit.
Eight.
You see no bodies.
Yeah, with the dirt and the clouds that are kind of pluming up towards you, and the arcane energy that's crackling off the remnants of this creature that's fallen, you're finding it a hard vantage point to see any bodies anywhere near the debris right now, because it's still like it's just plumes of smoke and ash and dirt.
Have all the bodies not hit the floor yet? Is that what it is?
Jesus Christ.
You're welcome. It's been a while. Sorry.
It's now in your head. You feel that you might need to get down lower to the ground to kind of suss out to see what the actual carnage is and see what's available from the pickings.
Yeah, I'll pop on down. It's like looking for like when you accidentally drop an M&M in the carpet. I'm just going for that last little morsel.
So you float down, and you can feel that as you drop down towards the clouds and the kind of the debris and everything, the sparks of red lightning just shoot out towards you, as if attracted to you. Your planar energy just kind of emanating out from your form, as small as it is, it's still giving off hum. And you kind of move down, and you can feel yourself getting sucked towards certain sections of this kind of whole town. Roll me another perception check, please.
Alrighty. Turns out I have no bonus to those. I thought I did. 10.
What I want you to do, you can add. I will allow you to do, because you're in planar form. I will allow you to add your spellcasting modifier to it.
Oh, well, then in that case it goes through the roof. That's like an 18.
Grand. You push down through the smoke and the clouds, and you start to get a better sense of the remnants of what's left here. You see multitudes of bodies, just piles of them, like the townsfolk that were turned into zombified forms. You see some of the people that tried to escape after you let them out of after Cody let them out of the cages, and they got caught at the far end, and they were maybe assaulted by some of the more zombified townsfolk. Roll me a D4, please. This is what's going to decide something for me.
Grand stuff. Come on. Well, this is poison. Come on. That's a 4.
Okay. You are scouting low over the ground, and you start to see crashed and broken sections of the pods that were inside the creature. You get up over a crest over a hill of debris, and you see a collection of pods seemingly still intact. But the far two, there's 4 in total, the far two are broken in half, and bodies have tumbled out from inside of them. The first body you see is completely rent and cut into all sorts of pieces. The second body is that of Carrots Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Oh crap! Hang on.
But you see beside him where he lies, kind of out the side of his head, out the side of his ear, there's a large pool of ichor, and there's like a kind of a long tadpole creature worming its way out of his head. And the kind of the goo starts to kind of flow up around that. His head seems to be half caved in, and there's severe damage there, and he's definitely dead. As you kind of float around that, then you see on the far side of it a large form of a cloaked figure of a dragonborn. And as you get closer, I don't know if you've met them. I'm trying to remember back. I don't think you did. Or if you did, it was very, very fleeting. Roll me a history check to see if you remember who this is.
Honest, Norman won't. He
wouldn't care.
He doesn't
That's
care.
cool.
He
This is the
just
form
learned his name like 2 days ago. He doesn't know people.
This is the now dead form of the Dragonborn that came with the group from the Black Asylum. It's Abigail Hemlock. She was struck by debris as she was scouting the area, and as the spider fell, she's a very fresh dead corpse. She has shards of the crystal piercing through certain parts of her body, and she is dead. As you float over these two forms, they're both eligible. They both seem to be, they're dead, but they're not severe as in their bodies are sustainable, and you know if you enter them you will be able to recuperate any injuries to a degree and keep them moving for a short period of time. You now have to make a choice.
Slurp, slurp, slurp. I kind of like the idea of being. I like the idea of being big and beefy. Now that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be hot again. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna set up shop in the Dragonborn neighborhood. I think I'm gonna move in there.
Cool. So you move forward. Sorry, I've got to fly. There we go. You move and hover down over the form as your tendrils slide out into it, and you start to grab it and pull your body towards it. You feel the planar energy crackle and form around the body as a slit opens up in the back of the Dragonborn's spine and up towards its head, and you ooze your way in, and black ichor kind of forms around it and grabs the wound and closes it shut. After a couple of seconds of darkness, you feel yourself flutter to life once more, and you slowly start to pick yourself up, not used to this now immense height of a Dragonborn, as you kind of keep yourself balanced. And look around, and you start to kind of readjust, and your hearing the muffled hearing of starts to reform, and your senses start to pull in the world around you as you take on this new flesh suit of the former Abigail Hemlock, now Norman Manfred.
Yeah.
So you are a female Dragonborn.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Okay. So.
All right.
That is
First
where you
thing
find
I
yourself.
go through my own pockets.
Cool.
I want to see if I've got any snacks.
Okay. I will tell you this now. Abigail Hemlock was a sorceress, a sorceress of shadow magic.
Mm-hmm.
On your form,
Why did you mention snacks, Ryan?
you find a ring of necrotic resistance,
Ooh.
a wand of fear,
Ooh. That is ring of necrotic resistance is an interesting one. That's just me.
um,
Put it on.
So that is on her finger at the moment. You have a wand of fear. Your armor is just straightforward leather armor. There's nothing special about it.
Yeah, I don't think.
But Norman now has a silver breath weapon.
Hell yeah!
So we can rejig your character sheet once this is done and dusted. But I will send you the link to Abigail's character sheet, and you can just use that.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what you are. And you are kind of readjusting, and it's a bit weird. Like, I mean, previously you were a lithe young elf. Before that, you were a normal man. This is the most powerful you've felt physically in a while. Even though Abigail was a sorceress, she was kind of like. Hopefully that link works.
Yeah.
Am
I bigger than Aratir now?
You're on par with Aratir. Yeah, you're roughly the same weight.
I'm gonna rub that in.
Okay, so that's what you found on your body. You have the character sheet there. Have it a gander, and we can readjust Norman's overall abilities and stuff after the fact.
I shouldn't be too much adjusting needed. I just need to loot.
Cool, grand so you're busy doing that now. The rest of the group, Artie, you've headed over to Norman and Talazar.
Ogun and Talazar, yeah.
Sorry, Ogun and Talazar.
Yes, I was secretly Norman all along.
Statistically, at the rate I'm going through people, all of you will be at some point.
If I can fucking help us.
You can't.
Okay, so just mark it down. There we go. Okay, so Arthur, you're over with Ogun and Talazar. You kind of made your way up through the building, pushing past debris and moving kind of furniture that was blocked up on the stairwell. You find yourself up on the top floor of this building with the two of them. And you see that Ogun is curled up on Talazar's chest, asleep, snoring loudly, and Talazar is just staring up through the opening in the ceiling that he fell through.
Talazar, are you hurt?
I'm just resting.
I need to understand. It looks like they've obviously teleported. They're gone. Like, how do we find them? I need to avenge Cody. Now that we're out of imminent danger, I feel like I need to address the whole situation with Loran.
What I saw as I came in was Loran standing over Codeine, and then all of a sudden Codeine was ripped away by that brain thing.
Talazar's not aware that Loran did what he did.
Okay, well, FYI, Talazar, Loran full on stabbed Codeine. Before those tentacles you saw, he killed her.
You just see kind of a change in his face. His face just kind of goes a bit slack, a bit kind of soft initially, and then just hardens into an angry kind of stare. We will deal with that one. The other thing as to where that brain is taken, Codeine, your guess would be as good as mine. The only people I ever think will be able to help us will be not here. Trying to think best of us would be the only person who may be able to help. Don't even know where he is now.
And we've no way of contacting him.
Well, the only people who may be able to are the ones that we're most angry at right now.
Okay.
What about you, little buddy? And he just kind of rustles Ogun's hair, and he...
For the sake of our end game, I'm putting a pin in this shit that we've all been dealing with. As much as I do not like it, and as much as it is against my nature, I am willing to hold myself in check if we need to get information from Loran and Norman.
I'll follow your lead on that one.
Owen's listening to
Oh,
this.
I'm relying on you, Talazar, as much as you're relying on me. Help me not rage the fuck out at them.
I will definitely step in.
I understand. We've been doing this for a while. We didn't know each other when we started out, but we've been doing this for a while. And I considered Codeine a friend. And what
Same.
hurts more is that I have a lot of affection for Loran, and I know what he's like. I just didn't expect this.
Something had to have happened. Something had to have been coded between the two of them.
Do you think though?
I can't imagine Loran just outright looking to kill us all. Norman, I would understand.
Yeah.
Norman.
Are the group aware that I'm trying to remember? Is the group aware that Loran has kind of sworn himself slightly to Norman's religion?
No,
But she was handing out pamphlets.
Talazar isn't aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
She
just
was handing out
get
pamphlets, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right,
they're on
right.
little pamphlets. Yeah.
Yeah.
but I
He
think
gave, I think he gave Ogun one and he tried to eat it.
Yeah. No, they're not aware that he's like taking it seriously.
Okay.
Wayne, I want to pipe up because I'm trying to sleep, but I can't. But I'm just gonna say, Norman turned on the pack. The Eldris blasted Codeine. You do not hurt the pack; you protect it. Ogun.
Somewhere in the town of Breston, there's a dragonborn standing on a hill of crap going like this.
I'm using I can flip people off with claws now.
Oh god.
Ogun doesn't consider them part of the pack anymore. He's a lone wolf on his own now.
Well, Ogun, you
Not
still
betray the
have
pack.
me. You still have me, little buddy.
And I kind of like put my paw out, and how much damage have you taken?
I have 27 out of 65 hit points left.
Unfortunately, I rolled bad, but I do a second level cure light wounds for 8.
Oh, thanks, little buddy.
Better than kicking the bollocks.
Yeah, thank you.
So
you can tell the player who's played second and third edition saying cure light wounds.
Yeah, oh, there's a lot. Actually, I forgot I rolled it because I forgot I could click a button. I was gonna, yeah, there we go. Never clicked the button.
are you still lying on your back in the middle of all this crap?
in your fancy dreads amongst the destruction.
You're covered in cushions.
And cushions.
Yeah.
Just taking a moment.
You little lush.
I'm a prince, bitch.
That's a t-shirt right there. Right, so Aritz here. You remember, as you're standing there, you can see with the destruction that's around you, and you're looking out through the kind of the large gap in the wall. You can look over and see where Loran was and still is lying on his back, all the cushions and kind of throws all around him, just lying on his back, staring up at the sky, unmoving.
I swear that if that child fell in shit, it would come up smelling of roses.
Norman, where are you at the moment? Where are you doing anything? Are you staying where you are, or?
I'm probably gonna start poking around and looking for either any signs of someone who can just tell Norman where am I?
Okay.
'Cause Norman doesn't know, or find a sign of there's a place that
Sure.
you can go to.
Right, so it's very obvious, you don't even have to roll perception for this. It's very obvious that with the debris and everything around you, as the smoke and everything starts to clear now, you can see the destruction all around you. Behind you, about 120 feet, is the large kind of hole in the ground where the large spider entity that was a building that pulled itself up out of the ground. The cages that the villagers are in has been scattered, and with the falling of the creature, they've been scattered and thrown to one side about another 200 feet across away from your right-hand side. as you look off in the distance, you can see the impact crater where the creature fell, and there's a large kind of crackling of energy around it, and you can see some of the spindly legs that were holding it up are now sticking out at weird angles from the ground. You're a good 300 feet from that. So you're standing in a pile of rubble where the bodies are strewn around you, and that you can look as you look around, and you see the mind flayer, the little kind of squiddy, kind of cellophad, whatever the hell you call those things, is squirming away from you, and then it just gets about another 30 feet and then dries up, and then because it's not in one of those large gestation pools anymore, it just dies. But it's chaos all around you. You don't see anyone else alive. You can't hear anyone else alive. But you can you get a good range of the ground around you.
Okay. Where to go? I'm probably just gonna honestly pick a random direction and just start walking in it.
Okay.
Because I have to I figure Norman's got no reference for kind of he doesn't know, the landmarks and such. So I think he's just gonna pick a random way to go, because he just kind of wants to just has to reassess and figure out what his next move is now.
Okay. So you start hitting the road, going in any general direction. Roll me a perception check, please.
All righty. That is a 4.
4. You're walking.
This session.
You are walking. You're walking about. Now remember, you can roll that on Abigail's character sheet if you want, if you're able to. I don't know if you're able to do that.
No. I kind of I figured I'd because it's kind of just something I'm I didn't change my stats for the previous body change, so I don't think I should
sure.
This one.
That's cool. That's totally your choice.
Yeah.
You get about. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, I think I see better than she does, so.
You're walking for about 15-20 minutes, and you're kind of lost in your own thought, trying to figure out the body that you're in, and adjusting to kind of the new range of scents, smells, and all this type of things that you have now with a dragonborn body. And you don't hear a small group of a mixture of city guard and monks from Terrace Moor march straight through the center section of the road you're in, and they stop about 5 feet away from you, all brandishing weapons. There's about 20 of them. And the first leader, the monk at the front, moves forward and has this quarterstaff and levels it out at you. He's like, "State your business. Who are you? And what are you doing in this town?"
Leaving? I don't know.
Do I see this from up on high from where I am?
No, they're too far from you.
And leaving again.
The kind of monk kind of gives you a squinty-eyed look. He kind of looks the body up and down, and
eyes off the prize, soldier.
Rolled really bad on perception. Rolled a 3. Kind of, he's like, were you part of the civil? Are you? He kind of stumbles a bit. He kind of looks back at the group, and kind of looks you up and down again, looking for kind of any sign of infection or anything like that. And he's like, "Did you live here? Were you part of the townsfolk, or are you part of the group that was sent here to investigate?"
I am from here.
Roll a persuasion check, please.
Persuasion. That'll probably do it. As a 22.
It does it. Looking like he's distracted and thinking of something else, the guard kind of takes his quarterstaff and lowers the bit and then waves you on. It's like, "I suggest you make haste. This town is decimated, as you can tell, and we are here to add relief to the forces that came before us."
I'm sure they'll be very relieved. You seem very high quality troops.
He kind of just doesn't even give you a second glance and turns back to kind of the 20 or so guards behind him, and it's like, bangs the quarterstaff on the ground. It's like, onward! And they all kind of march double file, double time past you as you step to one side to kind of let them go as they bustle past. And you notice that it's a pure mixture of Townsguard and the monks that were sent, that came with Talazar to protect Terrace Moor, or City Guard from Terrace Moor. And they're gone past you within a matter of a minute, and you're left there by yourself. They've kicked up dust, and you're kind of like, and then you're just on the road again.
Road again.
So Norman heads off to wherever Norman's going. The three of you are still in the building. What are you doing at this point?
I guess we should find the other two, see what the fuck is going on.
Question. Is there a river or lake equivalent nearby?
It's probably got a lot of shit in it.
Yeah, there's no particular river or lake in the town itself. But if you roll me a history check, please, Loran, just to see if you remember seeing anything on your way in.
Yeah, like would that history check though cover like I'm not talking like half an hour. I mean in his immediate eye line.
Oh, his immediate eye line.
Yeah.
There's no lake or river, but roll me perception to see if you see anything like that has water, like a well or something.
Oh, well would be good. Okay. Perception was it?
Yep.
Okay. Clear perception. That's gonna be a 17.
Yeah. Okay. You kind of, while you're lying on your back, you kind of turn your head ever so slightly and arch it backwards, looking upside down, back that way. And you see through the kind of the dust and it's kicking up and the crackling of energy and the piles of debris off to the left-hand side, beside a large building, actually very close to the bakery that you went in previously. There is a trough of water that is just outside that has a pump on the end of it. One of those the crank handle pumps, and the trough seems to have.
A well like that you could like get into.
No, you don't see that. You see that's what you see. You see a trough and a pump, but you could get up and look around if you want to look for more, because the water's definitely coming somewhere. You stay where you are.
Yeah, if he doesn't see it immediately, I'm not. It's all good.
Okay, so that's Loran looking around for a well. The three of you.
Well. I agree with Talazar. I think we need to get up and dust ourselves off and see what we can find out from the other two, and see if we can figure out how to contact what's his face. Best of us.
Yeah.
Could we rest up here for a bit? You're wounded. Maybe lick our wounds, and not literally, like you might catch something.
And that might be a bit unsanitary.
Yeah. But like maybe rest up for a bit and then go out. They betrayed us once. Do you really want a chance that they might do it?
I fully agree with you, Ogan. I think it's a good idea, but I think if we can gather information and then make a decision on where we need to go next. I'm not in good shape, I have to admit. Thank you for casting that light wounds cure there earlier, but yes, I agree. We're all in bad shape. We're all going to need a significant amount of rest before we actually take on another foe. But I think we need more information so that we can figure out a next step. Really.
I'm just saying, like maybe we should take a half an hour here just to lick our wounds and then go find them, just in case.
Well, it does seem that there's not a lot around here that's going to attack us. It seems like the activity has calmed down. If I look around, the people that Norman encountered, like, are there any other bands checking the area for survivors, I guess?
If you stick your head out and start looking around, give us a perception check there. And with advantage, because you're up high and you're looking out over the area.
Okay. my best roll was 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
There's too much. Like, there's still a lot of
not perceptive.
there's still a lot of arcane energy kind of crack, because you're right next to where the arse end of the spider creature fell. So there's like sparks of red lightning shooting out, and as you stick your head out, you kind of have to duck back in real quick as one to shoot past where your head is, and you kind of don't really pick out anything in the area that you can see anyone else. You know where Loran is, and you know that there's a lot of stuff going on, like magic wise, but you can't see anyone else.
Wayne, how long does it take to do a short rest?
A short rest, I think, is I want to say it's about an hour. It really depends, but no, I think it's I think it's an hour. An hour long, at least an hour long.
I'm just saying, the people that you're going to go looking for, they've already hurt and killed one of our own. If we're in a weakened condition, you're going to take the chance that they won't do it again.
The wrapped in blankets, like.
I really think
the blanket monster's going to attack you. Yeah.
Okay, well then, is our best option regroup with those treacherous tow rags in tow? I'm saying this to you, I will not say it to them. As I said, I will keep a civil tongue and a civil manner until we get out the other side of this. We need to regroup and hole up somewhere so that we can recover. I don't fancy holing up here because but maybe should we see if we can find any more Reshton survivors? Talazar, can you stretch out your mind or do some of that funky magic that you do?
I'm
that voodoo that you do?
My funky voodoo monk shit. I'm quite tapped at the minute.
Right. Okay.
But I'd be quick enough to move around and try and find people. Try and see if we can look for survivors. And looking around, I can't see or think that there may be any, if any at all.
Okay. So the tree, you want to make your way down to Loran at least, or yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So the three of you take a couple of minutes to kind of gather yourselves, move down, and you arrive within 5 or so minutes at where Loran is, lying on his back, surrounded by cushions and throws from his tiny hut. And you're all looking down. Loran, you look up as the trio arrive around you, and they're looking down at you.
So you made it then, Princeling?
Ling? I am a fully grown prince.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, but you're a Ling to me because you're littler than me.
Yes, well, I suppose that's fair.
Where's Norman gone?
I don't know. Who knows? Probably dead.
And that doesn't bother you?
Norman is a free spirit, and I feel like he hated every moment of his existence in this plane, so he's probably happier.
That's the best assessment of him all campaign. Dead.
Then why didn't you kill him then?
Oh, he's much harder to kill than Cody. She was already on the way out.
Yeah, that's the look.
Yeah. She's the easiest target.
What did you hope to gain? What did either of you hope to gain by doing that?
Some sense of concrete motivations from our, I don't know, nemesis, I suppose. It's like, oh, you all have to work together to stop me. Actually, yes, you're all important. No, you're not. One of you's dead. Oh no, actually it's fine. I love your chaos. I don't know, guys. I'm outie. This is the kind of thing where if you want to keep going, have fun. Because whoever this is, they're always going to be one step ahead, and they just, no matter what we do, it's futile. You want to keep playing cat and mouse, where you find the villain, and we have a tussle, and then they run away, so we have to go find them again to save the world. It's not for me.
Spoken
Are
like
you
a true
sure?
coward. Spoken like a true coward.
Yes, I've never claimed to be brave.
You
I'm a
have
very
bravery.
classy, rich twink. I don't want to be here. I didn't want to be part of this. I never wanted to save the world. I never wanted to be brave. I want to live my life of luxury. I want to just eat parfait and have many lovers. I don't want to do this.
Do you think any of that will ever come back if this thing wins? Do you think
I know,
anything of
exactly.
consequence will happen good for you if this thing wins?
I'm ready to
This
die.
thing is the only way for you to ever get any semblance of a life back for yourself.
Monk, I've accepted I'm never getting my life back, so why try?
You should
This is-
always try.
You're so idealistic, and that's so nice for you. Like, kudos. You should write a book. Inspirational quotes, people would love that. But it's not my speed. I'm not even from here, apparently. So I don't care anymore. Yes, we killed Codeine just to see if something would happen. Not really. We're in the same position we've always been in, back in Breston. I guess. Who knows what next? Lost. Still running. Who cares?
We're in a different position.
And
Are
you
we?
We've lost a member of our
We killed
family.
Codeine. We had no part in that decision. That was all you. And
Oh, I say we, like me and Norman. Sorry, my apologies. For the record, she was fine with it. She did consent. We didn't have time to convey that to the group, but it made me look way cooler and more badass if you didn't know that.
There's always time
For what?
to talk to us. We could have
Not
come up with a better plan.
What was your plan?
You never asked me.
We didn't have time! We were all being killed. There was shit going on. We were talking and he was angry and there was a lot happening and Codeine's very fast. So she just sort of beelined and I was like, well, I guess this is happening.
As you were all having this conversation, the guards that kind of found Norman on his way out of the town start to file into this section of the crash site. As you all look up, you hear them first before you see them as they kind of march in from the kind of the northern area and around, and they see you all huddled around Loran, lying still on the ground. I take it Loran's still on the ground.
Oh yeah.
He hasn't gotten up yet.
They all kind of come in, and as you see, there's about 20 to 25 guards all running double file, mixtures of monks and city guards from Terrace Moor, and they kind of stop, and a group of them break off and move towards you. That lead monk going forward and spots Talazar and kind of runs up and bows, and kind of looks around. He's like, "We've been sent by the city, and we got word that you came here, in the companionship of one Vestivus. He arrived back at the city and informed us you were here and required aid. So we were sent.
Bit late.
We are sorry. We came as quickly as we could. We could only spare these 25 of us. It is.
Well, that's not really good enough, is it?
And he kind of seems a bit disheveled and a bit taken aback by this tiefling that's lying flat on the ground, just shouting up at him. And he's like, and he kind of turns to Talazar and he's like, something has happened in Terrace Moor, and it is alarming. The sky, it is red. And as you kind of take all of it in, he kind of starts relaying you this information. What are the group doing?
I just put my arm around this monk and we walk just a little off to the side just to have a chat about what's going on. That's what I want to do, but I suggest to him that once he finishes relaying everything, to start looking for any kind of survivors or any persons that need to be given proper burials if possible.
Okay. You go off to one side with him, and he's like, there was something in the sky. It had red lightning wrapped around it, like a large ball. A black ball that appeared out of nowhere and levitated down over the city. It is surrounded by a red lightning. It has been there now for the past day or so. It appeared not long after, apparently, we did not know you had left. But fear has gripped the city. I know we came to help, but I don't know how much more we can do against whatever that is.
Nothing. It's pointless.
Shut up, you absolute charlatan.
I like that.
Don't listen to him. He likes shiting on everything.
So that's what he relays to you, and you tell him that they could get the guards to go disperse. And he kind of looks up and gets 6 of the guards. He kind of gives a gesture, and they break off and start scouting around the area into the buildings and looking for any of the survivors.
As far as Breston is concerned, I don't think there's much hope left for it, but there's always hope for something else to be done. And I relay to the rest of the group what he's relayed to me.
Okay. So, what are the group doing at this point?
Arthur is just feeling so bereft. Is there any way we can contact? I'm going to say this in Loran's presence now as well. Is there any way that we can try and contact? So Vestivus went to Terrace Moor to tell them that they needed our help. Sorry, was that it, Wayne?
Yes. So when Vestivus kind of had to leave for some unknown reason to all of you, when he started to change and he was affected by the presence of whatever was in that room, he beelined it out of there. And now he made his way straight back to Terrace Moor to inform them that something was happening in the town of Breston, and to send aid as quickly as they could. And it was he basically just went up eagle form and flew there, as far as you're aware, because it was in the space of a couple of hours that they are now here, and they basically hightailed it to get here in time. But they could only send a small force because they're keeping all their main forces to prepare for whatever this thing is that has now appeared over the city.
Is our next, I'm asking the group, is our next step to get to Terrace Moor, because that's now where the imminent danger is, and that's the most likely location to catch back up with Vestivus now that this evil has disappeared. So we copped it was affecting him, or he just...
I think at the time you could see, I think it was Norman, and I think Talazar might have picked it up as well.
Aratir
I don't think Aratir would have, but there was Vestivus was heavily affected by just being in that room.
Yeah.
With Quaval's presence being there, and he started to show signs of spider form along his face. I think I'm trying to remember if Norman and Talazar picked up on that. I know Norman definitely did.
I think I did. I think I got, because he had to go past me.
Yeah.
So I would have saw a brief glimpse of what was going on with him.
Yeah. So that's the information that you have now. There seems to be some entity that has appeared following this situation that you are now in, or have now come out of. Something has appeared over the city of Terrace Moor. A large black globe that is surrounded by red lightning.
Yeah.
I would like to leave this place. Logan doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, Breston is a veritable shithole now anyway, if it wasn't before.
Breston's always been a shithole.
It's just a more obvious shithole now because it's just debris. Talazar, I'm looking to you. I think our next step is to go back to Terrace Moor.
Let's go back, yeah. Terrace Moor is kind of where things seem to be converging again.
Just before we leave, Wayne.
Yeah.
Owen is going to walk off for a bit.
We also forgot something. I've only just remembered as well.
What?
Shelby.
Oh, Shelby.
Because
Shit.
Shelby fell out though, right?
he fell out, but he wasn't
Yeah.
looking on his bed. That's another thing. Like that just hits me as well.
Oh, poor Shelby.
I'll start looking for him.
He was the bestest boy.
He was.
Okay. Ogun, I want you to roll me an investigation check.
Oh. All right, that sounded too nice. That's a 19 with no pluses.
19. Ogun suddenly realizes through his haze of anger that Shelby fell from the spider creature, and you're not aware of where he is. So you start to kind of, your druid senses kick in, and you kind of start to sniff the air. And at first, the arcane energy around you kind of dissuades you a bit, but then you find the scent, and you all see as Ogun just four-leggedly legs it off and kind of bounds up heaps of rubble. And then at the top of another rubble, you give a howl as you look down, and you see the form of Shelby kind of sitting, and you can see as you get to that investigation check, as you kind of rush down this pile of rubble with dirt skidding everywhere, you get closer to him, you notice that he is alive. He's injured. There is some blood matted against his fur and feathers. He has taken 4 points of piercing damage as you realize there is a shard of red crystal sticking out from just above, actually it's just above his clavicle, because in there in the chest it would be fucking fatal, just above his clavicle there, and he's kind of like trying to paw at it, but he is alive.
I'm gonna wander over to Shelby, and it's like, easy there now, you did well. This is gonna hurt, but it'll be all better soon. And I'm gonna pull the shard out, but I'm also going to do a cure wounds on him.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it at just make sure. Yeah, my last one at second level. I'll use the magic daisies. So that's 11.
And so, so he's gone. I don't know if he'd taken any damage, but he
was on 21 before he did, like in that fight. He'd taken a lot of damage.
So he was down to 18. He was down to 17. So you gave him 11, is it?
Yeah.
So he's now back up to 28. So he's still looking hurt. You can still see some cuts along his body and some slashes where the assassins cut him and stuff from where he was hit. But he's up and he's okay. And he kind of like nuzzles into you, and you can hop up onto him. And the rest of you now all see lumbering back up over this pile of debris. You see Shelby's large form with Ogun sitting on the back, and the guards that are left there, and the monks kind of like take a second look, and they're like, holy shit. They kind of take a step back, and then they relax as they see Ogun on top of him, and then Shelby then joins you.
Wayne, I'm going to look around at the area where Shelby fell and all the destruction and whatnot, and how like there's nothing but destruction and death around us. And I'm going to let out a big, huge scream of all the anger and all the rage and all the emotions that I felt for what has happened in the last, half an hour. And I'm going to cast Plant Growth.
Okay.
And pretty much, if you cast a spell using one action, choose a point within range. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on the point become thick and overgrown. But what I'm trying to do is that anything that's buried under, like the grass and all that, and plants that is buried underfoot, I'm going to focus on that and try and change this land into kind of a little small 100-foot, like a little bit of life coming back, if you get me.
Okay. So you put your hands... Yeah.
Just
is that Loran?
I was just saying there's no better person than Ogun. That wasn't Loran, that was just me. Like...
It's true.
Ogun exists and things are better for us.
Ogun, you just plant your paws deep into the ground and shout in rage. And with the energy that comes out of you, you see this green pulse just out through all the dirt, debris, rock, and energy. And you see the red crystals try to push back against it. But the energy and the passion is so intense, they just crack and are pushed away. as you see these large tendrils of vines, leaves, trunks of trees, foliage just have to push up through the debris and the dirt and overgrow the entire area, where you see large mounds of green covered in flowers start to appear. Vines wrap themselves around the base of buildings, as in an area in the space of about 120 to 200 feet is just covered with a carpet of green, and flowers start to spring up everywhere. As Ogun then turns and comes back up over the hill, all of you look, and as he comes over, you see this carpet of green follow behind him and flow out as he walks below him, and it just stops and meets at your feet as it just starts to kind of wrap itself around you, where there's vines and greenery everywhere, and that smell of nature and mulch just fills your nostrils. That seems to push away all of this horrible, like dark, dusty smell of arcane and rubble and destruction all around you, as you just smell nature.
I also just want to whisper as I look back, and I just want to say goodbye, Codeine, and then walk past the group onto wherever we're going.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So, the guards return, and they relate the fact that they haven't found. I think you've broken Kim or broken Jill.
Sorry, Jill.
It's all right.
It's all the nature. It's the witchiness in her coming out. It's just all the nature, like, you know.
Oh.
It's the only way Ogun can deal. So,
the guards return and they report back that they found no survivors. They found a few bodies that were desiccated by the red crystalline entity that was ripped through their bodies, but they seem to be of zombified form. The majority of the people that seemingly left there seem to have gotten away. There was no fresh bodies that they found within the radius of the crash site that they surveyed. The group then start to gather themselves. Loran, what are you doing at this point? Because the rest are all starting to move off.
Have fun, guys. I wish you the best of luck. I can't wait to return to my own plane when you guys fix everything.
Alizar, you're just gonna stay shrouded in apathy and not bother your arse helping.
We've had this conversation.
Well, good luck. And I just turn on my heel and walk away.
Okay. So Loran is just left lying there on the ground.
Yep.
As you all walk away,
Ogun is going to wander over, and he's going to cast Druid Craft and make a little flower and just lay it beside him and just say, "Safe journey."
You know what? I liked you the most, Ogun. I genuinely hope you do well.
You too. And I'll wander off.
the trio join the guards. You start turning off back to the way they came, heading out of Breston, hitting the main road. Norman, you leave Loran behind. He is just lying there. You all turn and look, and he's still in the same place, lying flat on his back, staring up at the sky. The growth now moving around him that Ogun has created. And Loran, you just feel the grass push up underneath you, and flowers start to sprout all around you as life returns to the area in this general vicinity, slowly but surely. And you just find yourself staring up into the sky, thinking about whatever you're thinking about.
Yep.
There's nothing else you want to do at this point?
Nope.
Okay. The trio leave. You go off, start moving off through the town of Breston with the guards. Norman.
Yeah.
You have made your way out of the town. You're now on the main road. And you turn and look back, and you can see the city of Breston, or town of Breston there. This is the road to Terrace Moor. There are kind of trees all around you. There's a large plain. There's large kind of flat fields leading up into the forest area. But you can see that in certain sections of the flatlands, there is that red rot that's running through the ground and moving up into the certain parts of the forest. What direction is Norman going in here?
I was actually going to ask, can I see this new grove that has just appeared?
Well, it's in the city. It's in the town. It's in the center of the town.
Yeah.
So, from your vantage point, probably not.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Right. Main road. I think I'd remember enough to know where Terrace Moor is.
Yeah.
So I probably do register that I'm on the main road heading in that direction. Cool. I turn around and go the other way.
Okay.
I have some thinking to do. I'm like, shit, I came out the wrong side. I'm turning around and going like the exact opposite direction to that place.
Okay. So the road that you're currently on is the main road into Brescia. It would bring you back into the town.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go out the other side. I'm cutting clean through the town and heading off.
You're walking about 5-10 minutes, and you see at the far end, because the road out of Brescia kind of goes up into a hilly area leading toward Terrace Moor. So you're now walking downhill, and coming out of the gates of Brescia, you see with a Wolverine riding an owlbear leading the way, with Aratir, Talazar, and the 25 guards behind them, moving towards you at pace, as the owlbear's like with Ogun kind of riding on his back. They are making their way towards you. At this point they're about 100 feet away from you. Ogun, as you're kind of riding along, looking at the road ahead, you see about 100 feet up the road, you see this large dragonborn standing there, kind of, walking towards you, making their way towards you.
I'll slow down, and I'll kind of branch over to the side and like look at Aratir. And
do we recognize that it's Abigail?
You would.
I would. Can I tell whether it's Abigail, or whether there's something?
It's so Abigail is still Abigail. Like the body is still fresh. It's not like a desiccated body. Anyway, there's no kind of rot set in, because she'd only recently died. There was no rigor mortis even in the body. It was that fresh. So Norman had taken the body at an opportunistic moment that it is actually very healthy looking. So as far as you're concerned, you see this dragonborn and you clock it that it's Abigail, and that's who you think it is.
Right. Okay.
At a distance. Now, you haven't gotten anywhere. Like, you're about 100 feet away. You haven't gotten close.
Okay. I'm gonna realize it's her. I'm gonna kind of wave to her, because the fact that somebody has made it out, and it's somebody that we've encountered before. I'm gonna see if I can get her attention. And shout at her.
So you're going to shout Abigail, or what are you shouting?
Yeah, I'm going to shout Abigail.
So Norman, that's what you see. You recognize who it is.
Yeah.
And you see Aratir waving, and she's shouting Abigail in your general direction.
Just quietly, just like Abigail. Okay.
On a side note, does your voice change, or is it the same voice, or is it the body's voice?
The way I've been playing it is that the more the vocal cords degrade, the more it starts to sound like Norman.
All right, so we won't think it's you at the beginning.
Yeah. Give me a catch up. What's Abigail sound like?
Abigail is a female dragonborn. She's got a gruff dragonborn voice. But she's highborn. So Abigail is.
She's a sorceress, so she'd be well spoken.
Yeah, she is highborn, and she's part of a family of sorcerers from just outside Jorhas in the continent of Wildmount. That's where she's from.
Cool. Yes, I am Abigail. How are you doing, travelers?
Can I make an insight check?
I'm going to believe him. I believe her.
You can give an insight check if you want, but you've no reason to you've no reason to distrust this person because you don't know them. So what I'll do is Norman. I'm going to give Norman a chance to roll deception, and because it's against you, Talazar, and you don't know who this is, Norman's going to roll with advantage.
Grant it.
The first one's fine.
Yeah.
Not great, actually. Only a 12 at the highest.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
15. Talazar, you are immediately suspicious. You don't know who this individual is, but for some reason, there's something off about this individual.
Talazar never met Abigail, I don't think so.
No, I haven't.
You don't know who she is.
I just feel a bit.
you're just suspicious. You're not going to go, oh, that's Norman in a skin suit. You're like,
no.
I'm like, hang on a second, there's something off about this individual.
I just say to Aratir, like, do you know who this is? Something doesn't seem right with this person.
I explained to Talazar that we have met this individual before, that she's it was the whatchamacallit, met her at the
Black Asylum. She was the leader of the former patients.
Yeah, and that had been some time since we'd seen her, but that she, at the time we'd seen her, she was a friendly rather than a foe. And then I kind of look at him and go, but you're getting a weird
just something seems a bit off. The way they talk seems a bit odd.
I have no idea what you mean.
What Ogun's going to do is use it.
Now even Aratir is like, what the fuck?
It's not the mean.
It's pure. It's Men in Black. It's the fucking cockroach and the human thing all over again. It's like,
did we make him some sugar water?
Yeah.
Norman would fucking go for some sugar water. That'd reveal him right away.
Ogun's going to get off Shelby and go over and go,
Sniff.
oh,
Is this your dog?
no, that's Shelby. He's an owlbear. I don't think he's anyone's. He's a companion, I'd say. But why'd you point at me when he was over there? Anyway, it's rude to point. I'm Ogun.
Charmed. I'm
Pleased to meet you, Charmed.
Abigail.
Oh, Abigail, sorry.
Hang on, I thought Ogun met her before.
He did.
The asylum is one of my grey areas where I don't really remember much from it. So
while this is going on, I just reach into my travel sack and I just pull out a potion of healing and I hand it to Aratir. I say,
okay,
take that and
thank you.
Do better.
So, Norman, what are you attempting to do here? Do you want to try and talk to the group, or what are you going to do?
They called me over. I would notice that I guess Loran isn't there, which is interesting to Norman's eyes. His plaything is not present, but I mean, they called me over, so I think he's not really in the mood because I think he knows well enough. He's like, they're gonna try and start something, and I'm not in the mood, and there's too many guards around to take everyone. So I'm just playing it cool for now, having a jape.
Okay.
That city's been totally destroyed.
Yes, it has.
So just watch yourself if you're going in.
Thank you, small dog.
No, owlbear. But anyway, yeah, see ya. And I get back on Shelby and get ready to go on.
How quaint. Well,
Aratir, at this point, roll me an insight check with advantage.
Yeah, because Aratir's kind of looking at this exchange and kind of going, they've met before. And whatever about Ogun and his funny memory, but it's like, this interaction doesn't read right, even to her. So sorry, insight, he says.
I will say that's kind of normal for Ogun. He doesn't remember people that aren't the pack.
13.
Is that with advantage?
Oh no, with advantage. It's still a 13.
Okay, so you kind of make your way over a bit closer to Abigail, and you're kind of looking at her, and you're like, "This isn't right. There's something up here with this individual."
Rest in the face, motherfucker, please.
You don't remember her being that crass before, and you realize that like she also had a compatriot that traveled with her, and she came like the last you saw of her was in the Great Hall in Terrace Moor, and then they were gone.
Yeah,
and now you're like meeting her here on the road, pretty much just outside of Breshton. As you get closer to her, you do notice that there's some dried blood on her clothing, and there's large gashes where there used to be wounds that have now closed up. It does look like she's been in a bit of a tussle, but she's obviously alive and well as far as you can see.
Okay. Abigail, you look like you've been in the wars like the rest of us.
Oh, you know.
It's been some time since we saw you at the Black Asylum, and you're
Yes,
alone now as well.
Exactly that.
Would Aratir remember the companion's name?
Yeah, and 1 second now I can give you his name. Sorry, 1 second.
You're alright.
Looking up my entire list of characters. Where the fuck is he? His name was Brew Spearsplit, I think.
Don't like him. He spits beer. You don't do that.
He was a half orc.
Okay. Abigail, what drove you to come to Breston?
Well, the fight was that way, and I'm walking away from it because, as you can see, I have been quite injured on my travels.
Norman, roll a deception check for me, please. See if they are buying this.
There's your garb and your armor certainly would indicate that you have seen some shit, but looks like your wounds have healed.
Archie, I need you to roll an insight check for me because Norman has rolled a 13 on deception. I just want to see if you're buying this completely.
It's an 11.
11. You think there's definitely something off, but you're kind of taking her at her word here because she's obviously been through the worst and she may not be of her right mind. While the two of you are having this conversation, one of the guards steps forwards to Talazar and is like, "Sir, we really need to get a move on. Time is of the essence. We cannot be away from the city for too long."
Let's start getting a move on. I say, you there, if and shouting towards Abigail. Would you ever find your way to Terrace Moor?
Why not?
There are things happening in the city and you look capable. Maybe you could help us.
I am very, very capable, but I am tired of things and wish to go elsewhere. Thank you, boring monk. I will move along now.
What the fuck? Talazar doesn't really know what to make of this. He's used to being rebuked by his superiors, not by just some rando.
Roll an insight check for me there, Talazar.
Some habits.
That's not bad. That's a 19 total.
19. Something about the kind of the wording of the stinging insult kind of
It's familiar.
throws you a bit, but it is very familiar, and you're kind of like, hang on a second.
I just creepily, not creepily, but I just creep a little further towards
Whoa,
them.
bro! What's this about?
And I say, I just kind of just lean and just look at them and say, "Get your arse to Terrace Moor, Norman."
Now
you just turn.
You didn't really glean if it was Norman.
Reasonable.
Yeah, you didn't really glean that it was Norman.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah, you just kind of feel a bit that's familiar. Kind of like going, where have I heard that before? It's kind of that level of
Okay.
familiarity. You're not straight away
We'll
going,
wind that back
aha! Like it's not Scooby-Doo moment where you pull off the Dragonborn mask and there's like a planar tentacle creature just hanging underneath it. Like it's like you're familiar with this particular insult, but you're kind of going, hang on a second, that sounds very, very familiar. Abigail, are you trying to make a move away from the group at this point, or are you sticking around? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna like walk. I'm gonna be like just tottering away, just like, well, best of luck with whatever the fuck's happening. I'm going away now.
I just say, it's so familiar, but so strange.
Laters.
little old lady kind of voice out of you.
Ogun's got a tune in his head. He's just humming Why Can't We Be Friends for some reason.
So Abigail makes a beeline off and kind of heading towards the general direction of Breshton, but trying to make, like, as if Abigail's going to make a kind of a turn or go around the town just to kind of get away from the area. The rest of you then start to pick up pace and kick off again, heading towards Terracemore. What?
I call back.
Yeah.
I just like, incidentally, when you said things are happening in Terracemore, yep. When you said things are happening there, what things? Offhand.
Come and you'll be able to see.
Stop propositioning me. I don't appreciate it.
There's a big black ball above the city.
Really?
Oh, sorry. I was meant to think not say it. Well, at least I didn't tell you that it's turned the sky red, because that would have been everything we like. Oh no!
I just poke Ogun with my staff and say, stop talking.
I can't, now that you've told me to stop talking. It feels like I need to say everything that's in my head.
I just pick up Ogun and just kind of put my hand.
Ogun's on the top of Shelby. If you're gonna
yeah.
Shelby's gonna get a bit protective.
I
don't want to tell you,
I
but
just
I'm
give him another gentle kind of
heights and
prod in the hind.
Scared.
Okay.
I just prod him again in the hind quarters and say, stop.
Okay.
That tickled.
Well, interesting. Perhaps I will go and see this big ball at some point. That does not exist.
No, it does. We've been told it.
At this point, I just put my head in my hands and I just start walking back towards the captain.
Grand. So the guards pick up their pace again now with Talazar in tow. And the rest of you, did the rest of you follow on? You start making your move?
Yeah, we need to get out of here.
Grand. Norman, where are you heading?
Yeah, I'm heading back into the city just to kind of. I am mildly intrigued by the lack of Loran, but I also know that he had. I think I'm gonna go poke around and see if I can find the body, because I assume he's dead.
Okay.
And you liked that body.
I like that body, and I like the stuff that he had on him that I think could be beneficial to me. Right. He's also got my pamphlets.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't have any money, and printing is expensive. So I'm gonna go get.
It is. Printing is expensive. I know.
It
is expensive.
Especially in a setting where they have to still either do it by magic or with like blocks. So. And I'm not hand drawing them again. I'm just getting used to these new hands. So I'm going to try and find the dead bard.
Okay. So Abigail, Norman, you just turn and the group splitting now. Norman heading back into Breshton, heading through the town gates. The rest of the group, you pick up pace, and within a couple of hours, running at full tilt, these monks and these towns the monks are leading the way, and they're regimental and they're able to go like the fucking clappers. The rest of you keep up pace, and just as night falls, you crest up into the road that leads into Terracemore. The fields in front of it scattered with debris and bodies from previous battles. And then floating above the main gate, you see this large black globe encased in red lightning that arcs out from it, streaking the air around it. As you look up into the sky, you see that it has been scorched red all around the city, hovering right over it, like a large whirlpool of cloud in the center. It is not moving. The cloud swirls and there's energy all around. And Talazar, you feel the arcane energy, and Ogun, you do as well, crackling in the air like ozone burning as you make your way towards the gate. And the head monk pounds on the door and calls for you to be able to enter. And that's where we're going to take our break. Okay. So we'll be back very, very shortly. We're going to do our giveaway for the copy of Candlekeep Mysteries, thanks to Dublin City Comics. The prize for this month's episode, again, thanks to Dublin City Comics, they have very generously given us 2 prizes. We have a copy now. We haven't gotten it yet. It's on its way. It's in transit of the new Dungeons and Dragons comic book. I'm going to put a picture of it here from IDW, as well as a copy of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. This will be the prize giveaway as well as the comic book for this month's episode. So we will have a question for you very shortly after the break, and we will announce the winner of the copy of Candlekeep Mysteries, and we'll get that out in the post to you soon. So folks, we're going to go have some food, and we'll be back very shortly for part 2 of this episode.
Yep.
Whoop. Whoop. Welcome back, folks. We've all been fed and watered, and we're now back. We're going to do our giveaway. Thank you to Dublin City Comics for their ongoing sponsorship. Thanks to them, we have a copy of the Candlekeep Mysteries to give away. For this episode, the question we'd asked is, where is the Candlekeep library? And everyone put it up and shared and did everything, got it right. It's in the Sword Coast. So I need somebody to roll me a D12, please. Thank you very much. Tom, you can roll if you want.
Yeah. Cool. D12. Let's go. That is number 5.
Number 5.
Still alive at number 5, except for Cody.
Hellion Fire. Hellion Fire. This is an individual that's only subscribed to us recently and has gone through all of our shows, I think.
Thank you.
Very kindly commented on a couple of episodes. So Hellion Fire, I will send you an IM and we will get this out to you ASAP.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Fair play. We have another giveaway thanks to Dublin City Comics. We have a copy of this comic right here. Ding. As well as a copy of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. And the question you have to answer is very, very easy question if you know anything about Ravenloft. What is the name of the country or realm that the setting of Ravenloft is set in?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
You're not supposed to give the answer.
Wait, is that the actual answer?
No.
It's called acting.
No. So what is the name of the realm that the world of Ravenloft is set in?
Rohan.
This could be winging its way to you, along with the extra copy of Ding of that comic book right there.
I love Ding.
I think it's called The Fell 5.
Ding's a great comic.
Ding is a
That's the one they
fantastic.
should have done next.
Go for the face, boo.
So all you gotta do is answer the question below in the comment section, and then share the video on social media. Cannot stress this enough. Share the video on social media, tagging Irish Pubcast. Okay, that's all you gotta do. Answer the question, share the video on social media, tag Irish Pubcast. And this copy of this book and this comic could be winging its way to you once we announce the winner on the next episode of Pubcast Plays Dungeons and Dragons. So thank you again to Dublin City Comics for their ongoing sponsorship. They're fantastic folks. Check them out. You can now go into the store, mask up, go in, check them out, go in store, see everything. Also opened up across the way from Dublin City Comics is the new Heroes Cafe, which is a lovely outdoor seating area. So you can go buy your comics in Dublin City Comics and then jaunt across to Heroes Cafe, get yourself a smoothie or coffee or whatever, sit out front in the lovely seating area and read your comics. So thank you to everyone at Dublin City Comics. Let's jump back into the adventure. Where we left off, the group had made their way, part of the group had made their way to Terrace Moor and had entered into the city after seeing the large black globe that is now situated over the main gates with red crackling lightning all around it. We also left Norman in his new body of the former Abigail Hemlock, wandering back into the city of Breston, or town of Breston, looking for the body of who he thinks is deceased, is of Loran, who we left lying in a newly formed field of grass in the center of the town. So we're going to kick it up with the group in Terrace Moor. As you make your way in through the main gates, as they creak open, and your group with the entourage of the city guard and the monks that flank you and bring you in, Shelby and Ogan leading the way up into the city that is now heavily fortified. And moving in through this main gate, you see that on all sides, you see townsfolk who are helping to kind of dole out rations. You see city guard that are brandishing full armored weapons out, anxious looks on faces, the stench of smelting metal just reeking through the air. You move up through the town, and you're guided by the guards towards the Great Hall that you were in previously. Throughout the city, this is a city transformed. It's a city under siege, and it is just everyone is armed. There is just a tense feeling in the air, a mixture of fear, apprehension, literally it's like the eve before a big battle, and everyone's inhaling. It takes you about 10-15 minutes to worm your way up through the town, and you're brought to the Great Hall. As you make your way in, you notice again that when you were last here, this was like a full-on command center of a place. It had tables with maps and plans and schematics laid across all of them. You had people working on smithing in one far corner, and there were woodworking going on, building different weapon frames, all sorts of stuff happening all around you, just bustling and busy. As you make your way in now, there's no difference. It's if anything, it's more hectic, as people are shouting orders, rushing from side to side, throwing schematics and plans as they try to build or plan for weaponry that needs to be put together fast. Up on top of the raised platform at the far end of the room, you see the only recently formed council gathered around a large table, all standing. You see the large orc Thorin Axeblood that you all remember meeting him once, the smithy. You see the Claw of the Sky, the female tabaxi from Henrik's Point, who's standing kind of at the center of the table behind it. And then on your left-hand side, then you see kind of pointing and gesturing towards different maps of the city. You see Swift, the former Taylor spy, who Loran first introduced you all to after bringing him to the feast in this very room long ago. The three of them stand around, and off to the side you notice, on the right-hand side of the room, arms crossed and chin firmly planted in his kind of cupped hand, his staff leaning against the wall beside him. Now in a splendid regalia of blue robes, you see a fully energized Dacius Trevelyan. There's something about him that's a wee bit different. He looks exactly the same, but he seems stronger somehow. You kind of are brought up through, and the Claw of the Sky looks up and sees you approach and gestures and kind of gestures you over and looks at the number of you being only 3 plus Shelby. Once she takes in the owlbear, she kind of is taken aback, and as Shelby moves up through the room, people are parting and moving out of the way with gasps like holy shit, as he just lumbers up with Ogan on his back. You make your way up to the raised dais, or the raised platform where the table is, and the Claw of the Sky kind of gestures out like, we are glad to see that most of you have returned. When we got word from Vestivus, and she kind of spits the word out, that you were in peril in the town of Breston, we were surprised, but we sent aid all the same when we see that they found you. Please divulge what transpired, for Vestivus seems to be tight-lipped in his current situation.
I step forward and I explain. We arrived at the city of Breston under Festivus's instructions and guide as a guide, and he led us through the town. And we fought in our way through before making our way onto a large spider-like creature, crystalline in nature. As we fought,
I looked at the two other council members and the kind of worried look on her face. It's like, yes. Continue.
Fighting our way through, we came to what looked to be some form of aberration. A large, pulsating brain of some kind. As strange as it may seem, this is what we were met with. We fought, we lost people, we've been hurt, and that thing is now gone.
She
That's
kind of looks
where-
off to her left, over her shoulder, back towards where Trevelyan is leaning against the wall. And he has kind of looked up slightly towards you. And then she looks back. She goes, yes. We have had counsel with the man you know is dancing as Trevelyan. He has given us some new information following his recent bolstering of his powers. He can explain it better than I can, but it seems that there is one individual responsible for all of this, and they have been pulling the strings for a very long time. Tell me, have any of you heard of the name Seville Farm before? You can give me a history roll on this if you...
Can I do a history roll?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember anything.
Okay.
Well, Ogun wouldn't.
I rolled a 16.
16. The name, Arator, the name kind of pinches a bit at the back of your head. You're kind of going, hang on, it strikes a chord, but I don't know exactly. So I've heard the name, but I don't know anything behind it.
Yeah.
Seville Farm, or the Forgotten One, to many, is a spider demon. A former servant of the Spider Queen Lolth, her guardian. And it turns out that all of this, and she gestures around to kind of like everything, all of this is his prison. We are merely casualties in whatever war forced him here.
And how do we stop him?
At this point, Trevelyan stands up and moves over. He's like, well, there is a way. It is treacherous. It requires skill. And he looks at the three of you, and Shelby, and it requires numbers greater than what you have right now. I am sorry to see that your number is essentially cut in half.
Yes, well,
I can't help but feel responsible, as I think some explaining is needed in the situation.
oh, you should feel responsible.
Yes.
You set us on this damn fool crusade.
Yes, you see, and as you look at him as he talks, you realize that he seems a lot stronger. He seems more in place and more like kind of full as an individual.
Is his voice a bit different than what? Because
He's more kind of not so much forceful, but he seems like he's able to hold his stature a bit better.
He's a presence about him.
Yeah. the claw of the sky kind of pipes up, and she's like, "We may be able to do something about the numbers." And she turns to Swift, like, "Where is that envoy? The letter?" And Swift kind of jostles around paper on the table. And he lifts up a large piece of parchment, and she goes, "We received is the envoy from Henrik's Point here?" And you hear a kind of a clattering and a grumbling from the back, and a person steps forward, and you hear a female voice shout, "Kim, do you want to describe your character?"
Oh, she's in Jill's house. That's a surprise.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more surprised at.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I assumed Kim was going to swoop in as a surprise, but I didn't know she'd be beside Jill. That's fun.
Yeah.
no.
Fully vaccinated.
So, Kim, can you describe your character as this person steps up after being called to the front of the room?
My name is Rosine Sternsorrow. I am a paladin, human. I have been a first mate on a ship for 6 years. We have a common ally. I am an acquaintance. I've been charged to come here by Arun, another captain. I believe you are familiar.
Oh, yes, we are.
I think a thirst trap is what she said. You might remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the guy with the 5 other things?
Uh,
Ruin 5 or something?
well, yes, the Arun 5. I'm familiar. Shall I leave after saying that? Anyway, yes,
Don't
I
forget
have been. Hendrik's Point, after the fall of the City of Bones, Hendrik's Point has been besieged by monsters,
Oh,
ungodly creatures, and sea monsters, and the ships have been vitally important. But I was charged with joining the Council of Terrasmore to bring my insight to this group. I've been told about your group, although I see you are depleted. I am here to offer assistance in any way that I can. I can hold my own in battle, and I can support a team with my might, I suppose. That's what
Well,
I've been using up to now.
we certainly need someone with your skills, and I guess if you're all right by Arun.
Yes, I've never tried anything inappropriate, if that's what.
That's dirty. Cool. So,
Shortboards.
Osteen Sternsorrow has now offered her services as charged by Captain Arun, and the council have offered to put her with your party for the foreseeable future. So welcome to your new team member.
Woo! What? Kim, what's your first name again?
Rosine.
Rosine.
Rosine. Rosine.
Oh, they've been.
They've
Can you
started
tell that
already.
they're in the same fucking room together now? This is dangerous.
Wayne, point of order. Hello, everyone.
Hi!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how long I held my piss for there, lads?
You there the entire time?
Were you just sitting there and listening to her? Just
Nice.
He's been here since yesterday.
nice.
Yeah. And props again. Hopefully, like the last time you came in full regalia for your character, the character died. So
Yeah. I'm a bit of a, no spoilers, but I'm a bit more tanky than I was before. I'm
Yeah.
formed by my experiences. Let's just say that.
yeah.
Good.
Okay. So as you all meet your new compatriot, and as you meet your new team member, you gather together and start discuss things. Tom, the monks come to you with requests for guidance as they ask for you to come with them to inspect the fort, basically the battlements and the what they've built up throughout the city, the fortitude of the city and its defenses. Because you were their leader at one point, so they're looking for you for guidance. We're saying this now, folks, because Tom is going to have to leave us very shortly because he has a prior engagement and can't stick around for the entire episode. But Tom has to then bounce off after this. So if needs be, if Talazar does pop up later in the episode, I will be playing the role of Talazar this evening. Okay, and hopefully he will not die. Okay, so Talazar is taken away by a couple of the monks as they go off to inspect the battlements and the different kind of additional, guards posts that they put in place to make sure that the city is safe from outside attack for now.
Yeah.
Before I go, I just say to the lady, lady, if you, not to Kim's character, but to the lady that's
the Sky.
Sky, yeah. Any potions, any help by way of items and provisions that you can help provide us would go a long way in helping us survive this fight.
Of course, we supply what we can to keep you bolstered in any quest you may find yourself on. For now, we are reinforcing Terrace Moor for fear of attack from whatever is that thing. And she kind of gestures off in the general direction of the end of the room. So you're taken away by the monks. The rest of you get kind of huddled together and start to discuss, and you start to inform Rosine about the kind of the different situation, bring her up to speed. We're going to jump then to Norman. As Norman makes his way back into the town of Breshton, surveying the fucking devastation around you, actively keeping an eye out for any bodies that may resemble the brightly dressed tiefling that you're aware of.
For the record, Loran isn't lying dead anymore. He's wandering around wrapped in his blanket, a la Lisa being the lizard queen. Just sort of.
Okay, yeah, you're
pacing.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I imagine that stands out.
Pretty much. As you're making your way back into that general area, you don't find anything along the way, and like you're actively looking, and you get to the town square where you left everybody within about 20 minutes or so, 20-30 minutes, and there you see Loran just pacing around the rubble. And it's just, but one thing you do notice that's very different is that this entire area now looks like a huge field. There is debris and ruin and wreckage from the crashed spider-like entity, and there are large red crystalline shards jutting out of the ground at the far reaches and the far edges of it. But it's now a field with freshly grown grass, flowers. There's a very nice shrubbery. There's a couple of trees here and there. You're like, what the fuck happened here? And Loran is just pacing and walking around this now large
He's
field.
made a couple of the flowers into a very fetching flower crown.
That
Of course
tracks.
he has.
Of course.
Tracks.
And then you look over and that's who you see Loran there.
Okay. And there, yeah. I'll just sort of like kind of seeing that you're up and about. Yeah, just sort of like.
Is it an audible like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Loran just sees this big fucking dragonborn.
Yep.
Yeah. This huge dragonborn lady.
You free? Welcome to my flower kingdom.
At the moment, none of us are free.
Oh, would you look at that? Oh, I can fuck with this.
You lived, then
Regrettably.
find ourselves in the same boat.
Oh. Yeah. The guys went to, I don't know, the next big evil, I suppose. I'm a bit tired of all that, so I decided to stay behind.
Valid. Pull up a shrub.
Up down one of the cushions.
Yeah, not faking the voice anymore.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like. So, what next for you?
Well, they're pretty confident that like, oh, we're gonna do the right thing and we're gonna be heroes and we're gonna save the world. So honestly, I'm gonna wait it out and see what happens.
But
And if it all goes tits up, then I haven't lost much.
it going tits up, as you say.
I'm gonna need to isolate that for a ringtone, but
It's also another one of our t-shirts we're working on.
We're supplying all the t-shirt material here, guys. You need to catch up.
I think this most recent round has taught me something.
That everything is pointless, nothing matters, we're all going to die.
Sort of had that figured out by about round 3, but at the moment, it's definitely sunk in. This plane that we are forced to dwell on at the moment, this place, this is very swiftly becoming what I would see as the sunk cost fallacy is getting fairly hard to ignore.
I don't know what that means.
Of course you don't. But you just sit there and listen.
Yeah, okay.
But he's like, I feel awake now.
Like enlightened or like just.
Well, I am awake in the literal sense. I mean, that's not really in question.
Yeah, no, I know. Just
this. I think I apologize, I suppose, for using you as a sounding board, but I think my desires were once bent towards nothing more than turning the little funny things that walk around on this earth into, well, exactly.
sure.
I
had nothing else going on, no offense taken.
No, that's fair. And getting home was obviously key, but I no longer believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, you've kind of been messed around a lot in that way, eh?
Do you remember quite some time ago when I said what would happen if I died?
No.
Whenever all of this goes, I will be plucked from the skin of reality, tossed back into the roiling maelstrom that is my own home, and then I'll be there gestating for about 5 or 6 millennia until I can finally attain sentience again.
Sounds pretty shit.
It's awful. It's a fate worse than death, far
Right.
worse. But regrettably, I'm not really given the luxury. However, it's better than this. So, I now have a different bent to my objective.
Right.
This plane's demise is approaching rapidly.
Yes.
I want to hasten it.
Yeah, that tracks. It seems on brand.
If it's the only way off, then I'm perfectly happy to let all of this go.
How do you plan on doing that then?
I don't know. But I feel as if I can just continually, if I can keep doing what we've been doing this whole time, if I can keep fucking things up, then we are very good at fucking things up. If I can keep fucking things up, then this plane might well die sooner than it's going. Another 6,000 years is nothing to a few days I'm here. I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to find, I think it's a big black ball.
I didn't listen, to be honest.
I didn't pick up on the specifics.
I don't know. There's something in Terrace Moor.
But I don't like having these strings on me. Not anymore. I am no puppet. I will not live as a puppet. I'm supposed to have puppets. I'm not supposed to be one.
Yeah, kind of sucks. Hey, because I like follow your whole like deal, I made these pamphlets and all of that. Will I like get any cool perks if I die here? Do I get to come live in your weird plane?
Depends on how we do it.
I mean, it seems
not there,
easier
thanks,
than saving it.
Hmm?
It seems easier than saving it. That seems like a lost cause.
Saving it was never in my
No,
wheelhouse.
I know that.
I don't really have the interest.
If we can hasten it, destroy it, and I do get to live as one of your empowered followers, I could fuck with that. That would hark back to the glory days of my peak.
You really have gone downhill ever since, it is true.
I know. Like, seriously, everyone was like, Valaka's bad, don't listen to him. I'm like, yeah, but look how cushy we're living. You know.
I wouldn't disagree. I can't claim I'll be better, but at least I don't pretend.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I have more regard for you than I do the rest of, honestly, anything else that lives on this little husk.
Aww.
You're conniving, you are duplicitous,
I don't know what that means.
and of all of the creatures we've encountered and had any interaction with, you're the only one of them that has anything resembling intellect.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm so glad finally someone is seeing my value.
I can use you.
Yeah, fuck it, let's destroy the world.
We'll give it a hand, at least. Let's go find the black ball.
Yeah, alright.
Do you still have my pamphlets, by the way?
I do.
It's been really weighing
I
on
know. It's just I landed.
the ink, the costs.
No, trust me, man. I know. It's just they got a bit crumpled in the fall, but they're still good. They're still good.
Oh,
I'll just. That's fine. I'll just thumb off.
You've smoothed it out now. That's not. You've rubbed it off.
I'll make new ones. That's what I'm for, right? I'm not. I'm like you know, I do your little jobs. So I'll make new pamphlets.
Yes. It's all in service of the greater goals here. We are not going to be puppeteered by some greater entity any longer. Now come along, let's get going.
Fuck yeah, freedom!
And we are going to start heading towards Terrace Moor.
Okay.
Can I get a Disney Plus spin-off of those two just fighting? 8 episodes. Thank you.
Bravo for that monologue. That was.
Okay. Well done. That is fantastic. So, you make your way up. Get up. You brush yourself off around. You keep your blanket cloak.
Yes.
You have your other cloak on underneath, like, but you have your blanket cloak.
I'm traveling in comfort.
Grand.
I'm
Okay.
not now merely a prince, but a demigod.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
So, the two of you start making your way back towards Terrace Moor. You leave the town of Breston behind. The ever-growing green fields that are pushing out, now creeping into the ruined city itself. Heading towards Terrace Moor, looking for the black ball. The rest of you are in that room that you were in previously, off the main hall, all sitting around. You've been given sustenance, drinks, food. You're kind of resting, so you're kind of sitting there on chairs, couches, whatever, on the floor, wherever you want, with Dacius Trevelyan standing there, about to impart on you the information that he has acquired and enlightening you of the situation that has transpired here in Terrace Moor. I may seem a bit different because I have taken the time you were away to amalgamate myself back together. My split sections that were spread throughout the land,
What?
some of them no longer had anywhere to stay, as this world is crumbling and falling apart. I called them all here and reformed myself. And with that, my memory returned. And I know now who we face and why. Seveltom is a chaotic demigod who, in part, I tried to vanquish once before, but not in the form you see now. All of this was created because we couldn't find a way to trap him and force him into non-existence. And my being was split, not into multiple Dacius Trevelyan's as you found, but into 3 entities. Dacius Trevelyan, Vestivus, and Dillis Quval. 3 parts of the one person. Shattered to create this. We fought with many an adventurer at the time during the return of Seveltom in another realm. And this was the cost. We brought in everyone you see here and forced them, unbeknownst to them, to live in this prison in order to keep him here. And many a time over the centuries he has tried to escape. And every single time we have fought him back. But I, myself, being the only essence of my former being, able to withstand his control at the cost of being split more and more, becoming weaker and weaker, unable to control him, unable to control Vestivus, unable to control Quval. They were pawns within his ideal, within his story, within his plan for escape. And with every group that came along and tried to stop him, he dispatched them at some point, but we stopped him. You are the only group of people we have employed to have gotten this far against these odds. But he himself has never gotten this far. I fear this is the end of it. One way or another, this realm will shatter. And you will either destroy him and return home to the lives you once had, if they are still there, or he will win and his chaos and evil will spread throughout the realms. There is one final attempt in order to stop him completely. I managed to capture his heart, his actual living essence, and trap it. It is deep, deep underground, in a pocket of time within this realm. If you were to capture it and bring it here, we could stop him. I have been setting up a ritual that will allow me to drain his essence from this realm and disperse it so it no longer threatens any reality.
Excuse me, sir. Is there a reason why a ritual hasn't been performed before now?
Because we haven't had to do it. There was no need. We managed to stop him before it got this far. He has been building up chaos energy over the centuries. Every single time we have beaten him, all of the damage that has been done in the process, all of the chaos and the lives lost and the people taken, the people corrupted by him. He took their energy and siphoned it into himself, building up power. And only now does he have enough power to put an end to all of this. That black sphere is a representation of his energy. It is something that precedes him everywhere he goes. When that arrives, he is soon to follow. He is a powerful, powerful individual. Once a fighter and a guardian of something far worse than him. Now he has grown in power and taken part of me and all of the ones who have gone before you into him to make him stronger. And it will take a joint effort from everyone here, everyone in Terrace Moor, and any ally you may have found along the way to put an end to him.
Again, I'm confused. Like, you could have done this ritual sooner and we could have all gone home.
No,
Why didn't you?
I could not have done it sooner. I was trapped. I was trapped by Quoval in the Black Asylum. You found me there.
Yes, we did.
I was trapped. I could not get out. My entire being, the heart of me, that dragon, was there. I could not get out. I had to be me. I had to be this whole individual right now in order to enact this with the knowledge that I have. Without that, we would not be able to beat him. You would be lost. And while I am the origin of this problem, I am also part of the solution. And I need you to help me do this. You can go home. You can have the life you had before this if you remember what it is.
I don't, but I'd like the opportunity to remember, so I'm in anyway.
Do you have abilities, Badger?
No, I have all my shots. I also cast some spells every now and then, yeah, sorry. But whatever I can do, you have it.
Thank you.
Good to know.
But I would like, I really, really need to rest and commune with nature.
Of course, we have a short amount of time. I will be able to transport you where you need to go momentarily. I will set up a teleportation circle. We can go from here or from elsewhere in the castle, but it is imperative that we go within the next day, for I do not believe we have much time left.
I only need about 8 or 9 hours. 10 if I want to sleep in.
At this point, Talazar, you arrive back after doing the check of the reinforcements of the city, and you're brought up to speed on everything that's been happening.
See, you are now whole.
I am.
So
I'm
what
only-
of...
as two parts of me still exist elsewhere, but as Dacius Trevelyan, I am at my peak of ability.
Well, what of the other two then? Do we destroy them first to make you more powerful?
No, you destroy them, you destroy me. Vestivus gave himself up willingly, which was a surprise, but he is in the dungeon under heavy guard. I have ordered his belongings and his staff be removed from him, and they are under lock and key under guard on the far side of the compound. Quoval, you have seen him more recently than I.
Well, I'm with Ogun. I think we all need rest first before we do anything.
Arbitir and Rosine, what are you doing? You two are just thick as thieves in the corner.
They're comparing battle axes.
What did you call me? Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
So, in terms of action, I don't have any magical abilities, but you have my axe in this situation. I feel that as a citizen of this or any realm where there is this level of evil and destruction, if I can do something about it, I feel I need to.
I sense bravery in you all. If we can get a place for you to rest and restore, and if we can be transported to the next location, then surely some healing time is not too much to ask.
I will I will ask for preparations to be made for bedding and food and rest to be given. That is, of course, the least we can do.
I can show you to. I mean, I can show you all to, and I just get a little pink bit here and here, and I'm just gonna lead them out.
Cool. Okay. So you all follow Rosina to start bringing you back into kind of where off to the side of the room where there's a large double door on the left-hand side that leads into kind of the start of a barracks that is busy enough, but you manage to find one of the corner rooms that beds about 10 people is actually quite empty after recently being repurposed, but there are beds still there, and you're given a place to rest and food and drink and everything like that to rest up for the night.
Can I have 3 legs of lamb for Shelby, please?
That's not a problem. They are provided easily as the meat is brought in for the owlbear, who tucks in heartily and restores himself back to full health. If there's nothing else anyone wants to do this evening, you can go and have a long rest.
Woohoo!
Okay. In the meantime, while you're having your long rest, Norman and Loran,
I'm gonna redo spells.
after a good like walk into the evening, it's now around 2 a.m. in the morning. If you haven't decided to rest,
The time we're now on like 57 bottles of meat on the wall.
What's really bothersome is that you started at 59.
I
How has it taken you this long?
I got lost.
Learn to count, Loran. It's only counting to 2.
No, I've got street smarts. I don't need to know how to count a word.
Street smarts.
We're going to the secondary location.
Norman, you're throwing them off their rhythm.
Okay, so if you decided not to rest, you keep going, and I say a good 10 hours walking, which is pretty hefty, and you're pretty tired by the time you get there. You get to the outskirts of Terrace Moor, and you see there, hanging in the skyline and the night sky above you, it's a clear enough sky, bar in the center of Terrace Moor. Above it, you see this large cylindrical cloud, and the sky is scorched. Now a deep kind of purple with the night sky. There's no stars really. It's just red lightning streaking through it as this large kind of like just an obsidian globe is just hanging there in the sky. So what are you doing, the two of you?
Now what?
Oh, if we head in and...
Now if we head in, there's probably all of the people, and I don't want to see them because I had a very dramatic exit, and it'll be ruined, and...
You can stand behind my new enormous frame.
Ooh, yes. I tell you what, I will. And a la Thor in Thor Ragnarok, he just puts like the blanket over half of his face.
So just the blanket draped over your heads with your horns just kind of lumpy underneath, and then
You have disguised self.
You spell slot.
You can do it for free.
No, these people are not worth it.
People refusing to use spell slots at this stage. Loran is just not having any of it.
Yeah. So done with this shit.
Yeah.
We head in here, somebody will point us in the right direction.
Send us to
Being gone.
jail, please.
Yeah, just yelling as we like what? Yeah, we get up to like. I assume the gates have quite a few guards on them still.
Oh, the battlements they're just lined with guards, all patrolling, and you see that the front gates, as you get to them, they're reinforced from the outside, and you can only guess heavily reinforced on the inside as well.
Someone take us to where the important people are.
We're the heroes.
We're here to resolve this.
You kind of see a guard, one of the town's guards leaning. I was like, "Who are you?"
We're part of that gang. The good one who does all the things.
Yes, those ones that you all love so much. We're them. Also.
You know, the badger, the big hot orc, monk.
Roll a persuasion check. Both of these together, or a one with advantage, whatever you want.
If this succeeds, I don't know.
Where is my fucking internet going? Persuasion, was it?
Yup.
Okie dokie. I'm good at that skill.
Mine wasn't great. Mine was only 13.
Mine was 18.
18. As Loran just kind of leans forward with the disguise, and you just see your eyes are just peeking out of it, and you're shouting up. The guys are like, "Well, it's only two of them, I suppose. And if they say they seem to know those individuals, open the gates!" And they just shout, and you just see the gates. You hear a lot of sliding of bars and a kind of movement of different things behind it. Like it takes about 5-10 minutes, and then. And it opens up wide enough for the two of you just to fit in. It's opened up a bit wider so Abigail's large form can fit in, or Norman's new body.
Excellent. You seem adept at following instructions. Take a pamphlet. And he hands him whatever. Pamphlets.
He kind of, all right, yeah. And he kind of just, like, on you go. Lock the gates up! And he just orders for the gates to be closed up again. He's just standing there looking at you, holding the pamphlet. I'll get a go. Escort these two to the Grand Hall, up that way. And he kind of points over at a monk, and quite a young monk comes over, and he has a quarterstaff and a blue.
Talazar, how good to see you.
Oh my god.
The young monk's like, no, I'm not Master Talazar. I'm just one of the apprentices.
Master Talazar.
I'm low. Yeah. If you want to follow me, and he just starts to slowly Naruto run off up the. Can you kind of see him kind of go pretty quick, and you kind of have to move a bit to keep up with him.
I'm not. I'm just walking at my own pace. He can Naruto run if he wants.
He stops at the top of kind of an outcropping at the top of the road. That's kind of a part of an outcropping of a blacksmith is there, and he stops and turns back and sees that you aren't following him, and kind of just stands.
We're just leisurely.
Yeah. And he's
actually,
like,
I'm pacing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm in a mood.
And he seems a bit antsy, as if he's trying to he's very jittery. And he waits for you to arrive, and then slowly keeps in pace with you. But every now and again, it's like, when you're walking with somebody and you kind of start to walk a bit faster and go ahead of them, and you wait for them and they catch up, and then you do it again. It's seemingly like that. And then eventually, after about 30 minutes, you find yourselves outside the Great Hall, and he kind of explains to the guard, and the guard opens the doors and lets you in. It's pretty late in the evening at this stage. As you go in, there's still a lot of hustle and bustle around. And
I didn't sleep because I didn't need to. I'm still in the Great Hall, and I'm having a moment of quiet reflection.
Okay. Where in particular are you sitting?
At one of the long tables, not on the dais, just taking a bit of space to myself.
Okay, so you're off to the right hand side, kind of off in a corner.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're now in the Great Hall. Both Norman and Loran have arrived into the Great Hall. Where are these? What you look up and you see that still at the top table. You do see the, if you care to remember, the form of Claw of the Sky, Thorin Axeblood, and Swift. Swift is now sitting in a chair, kind of lying back, looking very tired, and Thorin is kind of rubbing his eyes as they're still poring over maps. There's no sign of anyone else that you seem to recognize at the moment.
do we do?
So, John, I mean, somebody's going to be setting off any moment now, won't they? We'll just find them.
How do you mean, like?
My experience is we will eventually end up either kind of like looks up to where like the huge black ball is. We'll end up wherever that's relevant. And from there, I'll figure out when I get there.
Okay.
Sort of spitballing this, to be honest.
It's a bit balling. It's quite a large ball.
Loran, that is very funny.
Thank you.
But yeah, he's like, they kind of like nods at the front of the room. You are familiar.
Sort of. Will I say we're here to help, or?
Ask what's going on.
How far through our long rest are we? Sorry.
I'd say you're about 3 or 4 hours in.
Right.
Excuse me.
Full method. So you make your way up towards the top tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of look up and see you approach. A couple of guards are a bit shifty as they kind of move over to stop you, and one of them kind of moves like, can we help you in any way?
Yes, I would like to talk to the sexy elf at the table.
Swift.
Nah. Is this official business?
Yes.
One moment, he kind of moves off and goes up to and he kind of looks at the three of them, and he kind of looks back at you after you said sexy elf, and he's like, he goes over to Swift because it's the only elf. He's like, and he whispers in his ear. Swift kind of leans over and looks over and sees sees a dragonborn, and then sees like Loran with a blanket up. Now, describe to me a bit, Loran. The blanket, how much of it does it cover?
This.
It's basically that, so you can see your eye and your horns and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You look like a promo shot of Tim Wheeler from 1997.
I don't know what that means. Thank you so much.
Lead singer of Ash, and he had really bad acne, so Smashes used to take pictures of him like this.
Oh.
I'm just throwing out all the references for the kids out there.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really relevant and awesome.
He looks over and takes a second, and then he sees the kind of the golden skin and the horns and the hair, the quiffy hair, and he's like, "Oh, yes," and he gestures over to you and looks at the dragonborn. Is like confused.
Wayne, I've got my head up. I'm not going over there, but I've got my head up.
Okay. So you step up, Loran, and obviously Norman is behind you.
Hello.
You're alive.
Yes. Well, someone has to save the world, I suppose. What's this whole thing?
Oh, do you mean the black
The
orb?
giant ball of doom. Yes.
Yes. We believe. And he turns to the claw, and the claw's kind of looking at him and you and the dragonborn, and he's like, no. I clearly, were you? And she looks confused as well. It's like, well, it's the thing itself. It's an ominous situation. They're kind of a bit stuttery because they're kind of wondering why you're here and you arrived after everyone else. The situation is basically, this is Swift. Is like, it's kind of an ominous warning that we are on the precipice of a large battle. Apparently, this is what Trevelyan has told us. Would you like? Excuse me?
Trevelyan.
Yes. He is helping us with the preparations, and he has a plan in order to stop all of this.
Of course he does. That's been working really well for him so far.
Well, we're still alive. But well, right now, your compatriots, they are here. They are taking a rest in part of the barracks. If you wish to join them,
I'm going to walk up, Wayne.
Okay.
Just walking up. I'm gonna see how Loran responds to that.
See this tall, armored female form just step up to the side of the dais. Tall, blonde hair. She's just kind of staring at you. Swift is like, there is a plan in place. There's a situation that has arisen. We've discovered a way of stopping Seville Tom. Do you know who Seville Tom is?
I thought Vestivus was the villain, and then he wasn't, and then Duval. I don't know. Tell me who's the villain.
They were pawns. They were his lieutenants, if you will, building a path for him to return. And now he is ready to return and bring chaos and destroy all of this and spread his evil throughout the realms. It's been building to this. The wool was pulled over all of our eyes because we all thought we were living in a realm of peace and prosperity when this whole thing has been nothing but a lie, a prison.
Wayne, I'm going to just get a bit closer to Swift. And can I roll intimidation before I talk to Loran?
If you want, yeah.
Very hostile for someone you don't know or have any prejudice against.
I've just
Aren't paladins traditionally cunts anyway?
Well, they're a bit, I'm a bit holier than that, but literally I've been making maps and writing "Here be monsters" on them for 6 years, so like I'm a bit hardened, but I'm gonna roll intimidation.
Okay.
That's a 15, and I'm gonna say to Loran, excuse me, how is it that you are out of step with the information that the rest of your party has?
Can I counter against this intimidation?
You can. Yeah, you can counter against intimidation. I'm going to get you to roll.
I love it.
I'm gonna get you to roll a counter intimidation roll.
Okay.
Ooh. But he's so little.
That's going to be a 19.
Loran rolled a 19.
Impressive.
Yeah. So Loran is not intimidated by you at all.
The orcs intimidating bards. What's going on?
I don't know. I'd be pretty intimidated by his gorgeous skin and horns.
Yeah.
Yes, we fell behind our compatriots.
Tear his little head off.
But we're here now, isn't that what matters?
Absolutely. I can lead you to their quarters, and I'm going to lead them to not their quarters. I'm going to bring them to some quarters.
You could lead me to your quarters if you like.
I am going to develop just tiny pink spots here and there, and then I'm going to lead them to a fairly comfortable part of the barracks, but on the opposite side to where the lads are. And I'm going to, if this happens, I would then go from there over to the fam and just...
Can I ask, just to make sure that this is... Yeah, so how would, like, your reaction to Loran?
Yeah.
There's a level of distrust there. Is that based on something that would have been said? Would the group have informed Rosine about Loran in some way that would make you feel that you need to bring them off and section them?
Because technically speaking, all you would have seen was Swift giving us all the information we need and seeming to trust us.
Yes. I didn't... the unannounced Dragonborn gave me pause. But it seemed when I was with the group, it seemed to me that the group was complete. They kept talking about how they'd lost members, but they were talking about themselves as a unit, and not that there's more coming. Someone else is in a different town. No mention. They seemed like a team, and I don't want to bring people to them when they're asleep.
Okay, so what I'm going to do...
They were kind of fucked up.
What I'm going to do here...
We don't need to go to them right now. We're good talking things out here for the time being.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So if you don't if they don't want to go anywhere, like you're not gonna if they're still vying for information, because there has to be I know we're it's the whole thing, but there has to be a logical reason for Rosine just obviously not all of a sudden not trust Loran, apart from a previous life where Codeine is sitting on your shoulder going, "This bitch killed you, motherfucker."
But yeah, I just I'm a member of the council. I'm battle ready at all times, but we've got a major day tomorrow. I'm aware of Dragonborns and their breath weapons, and I just don't want to introduce more rogue elements because I was kind of.
No, you're being defensive, and that's fine. That's totally understandable. It was just the whole trust level. That's all. So
it's the night before the battle, like in Game of Thrones season 8, which is the definitive definition of sunk cost fallacy.
Miss, tall, strong, and beautiful. My apologies for the late arrival. We thought our compatriot here was dead, hence the late arrival. Turns out he's not. Everyone's happy.
Oh, that's very good to hear. Do you not require rest, or?
Oh, I am knackered. If we will rest, but we just have some stuff to take care of first.
Okay, when you are ready, I will return to my meditation. When you are ready, I will lead you to your
chamber.
Yeah. However, you mightn't be fully restored by the time things might be starting tomorrow.
Oh, that's fine. We're battle hardened. We're good. We'll face this evil head on as a team.
I'm going to smirk slightly at this beautiful gold tiefling telling me that they're battle hardened when it looks like they were eating frozen pastry recently. Anyway, yes. I'm going to go back to my prayer.
Cool. Okay. So Loran, Swift imparts on you kind of like the information about Several Tharm being the puppet master about all of this, that it was all leading to his initial release, that all of these individual evils that you've faced have all been just siphoning off any chaotic energy that has followed the group wherever you've gone. And it's led to him.
Is he in the ball, or?
The ball, apparently, according to Trevelyan, as previously this had happened in his realm, his realm outside of all of this. The ball arrives as kind of an announcement of the arrival of Several Tharm, and it is his herald, if you will.
It's a pretty shit herald.
Well, apparently, the last time this happened, the ball spat 1,000 legions of spiders on a city.
Right. Okay.
Big ones.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's not great, obviously. Got any questions, comments, feedback?
Several.
There is a plan. I'm privy to some of it, but it involves destroying the essence of Several Tharm, which will then break the hold on this realm. And apparently, Trevelyan's theory is that we would all return home.
Uh-huh.
Is he here?
Trevelyan? Yes, he is. He is currently in. He's preparing a teleportation circle, if I'm not mistaken.
Want to have a chat?
No, but I'm going to.
That was a Kim intake of breath, not a Rosine intake of breath.
Okay.
Point me in his direction, if you will.
I'm sorry, who are you?
At this stage, does it matter? I'm here, aren't I?
Well, it does matter, because if we do not know who you are...
Swift, darling, let's not make it complicated.
Make a persuasion check, right?
Oh, he just did that.
Mm-hmm. 14. He kind of takes a step back and is a bit kind of rubbing his hand kind of on his chest. And he looks to the claw of sky, and she goes, "Do you vouch for this individual,
I
tiefling?
do. Yes, I do.
Is he an ally?"
Yes, he is.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes. You are in a female body currently. Yes, she is.
Ah, well, we will send guards to accompany you to where Trevelyan is, and they will stand outside the room while you have your conversation.
Sure.
And she kind of just, and two guards come up through the ranks of the room and kind of stand on either side of you. Two towns guards, each carrying a spear and a shield. And she gestures off to the kind of the right side, her right side of the room, and you see a wooden door on the far end. And she goes, "He is through here and up the spiral staircase in one of the towers."
very good.
And the guards kind of fall in step beside you, and lead you over to the spiral staircase that leads up into the tower. You make your way up, and it's about a 2-minute climb up. You come out into a room. You open the door out into it. It's a large circular room that sits on top of this tower, and they're kind of pacing around and kind of marking on the floor with chalk. The furniture of the room is spread spread all out on the corners of the walls. Sorry, that's a round room. It's spread around the room, kind of pressed up against the walls. Like there's tables, chairs. There's a small cot that's tipped over, and Trevelyan is now just scrawling this large kind of sigil and then different arcane symbols. And Norman, you recognize it as a teleportation circle that he's preparing. And he doesn't look up as you enter in. He's still kind of deep in scribing.
All right, Trevor.
He kind of stops mid-stroke and he looks up and he's like, "You're alive."
Bang, gang.
I was told you'd stayed in this town of Breston. And he kind of looks at Abigail and kind of tilts his head, and you see his eyes flash purple for a second. And he kind of cocks his head and he's like, "Norman, I see you've found another body."
Jazaroth to you.
"Indeed. What's the
So, where's this go?
Huh?
Where's this go?
This goes to an underground tomb of such. Have you just arrived?"
Fresh off the boat.
Well, there's a bit of explaining with the situation, I suppose.
I would have. Regrettably, I do want to hear it from your mouth.
May I ask before I tell you? Are you here to help or hinder me?
You can indeed ask.
Oh, bitch.
Oh.
Oh.
Without missing a beat, Trevelyan just puts the chalk down on the ground and stands up to his full height.
Yes.
I know that you're trapped here, and it is causing you great discomfort. I mean to put an end to the discomfort of all in this realm by freeing us all.
What was it? We had this conversation. It's your fault.
I take full responsibility.
To make it right.
I never said it did.
You wish to put an end to the discomfort of all in this realm. Funnily enough, we have the same goal.
Interesting. Do we have the same methods?
You show yours first.
He gestures in the air, and forming in kind of bluish, purplish hues in his hand, just floating, you see a large, misshapen heart floating. And it's beating, but in weird rhythms in different sections. And there's purplish red veins running through it that are thick and ichorous. This is the heart of Seville Farm. It is buried in the tomb I speak of. It contains the final living essence of him. We plan to destroy this in order to break his hold on this prison and shattering the entire thing to allow us all to go home peacefully. If he wins and we fail, he will spread throughout all existence, corrupting it, tainting it, destroying it. That would include your plane of existence, Shazaroth.
Best of luck to him.
He is a powerful being, but together we could stop him.
So this repository for his godly self, we're getting a straight shot at that?
Yes?
Sounds very easy, to be honest.
There are great dangers in the tomb. Guardians.
Oh, I'm sure.
You will have to fight your way there.
Mhm. Well, you're very strong. You can handle that, I imagine.
I must stay here and protect the city from whatever comes out of that ball.
I
And
don't
you can
think
see
you
that
can protect the whole city, though. I mean, like, they've got city guards, they've got a whole patrol thing. Surely the numbers will protect the city. Your talents should be put to use with all the cosmic horror stuff, really.
my talents are best served here to protect everyone and make sure as many people survive this as possible.
Like that.
Child, if you do not wish to do this, I am not forcing you to do this.
I am merely asking questions about your motivations because you've not been top tier in terms of clarity and honesty with us. So I think we are allowed to ask these things.
He stops and the floating heart dissipates in the air. He kind of pulls at it and it just goes away. I have not been my full self until now. I apologize for any lack of clarity. But your constant lack of resolve in the situation has not helped matters either. Tell me, Loran, do you think you will speak or sleep soundly, knowing that you dispatched one of your own party members into the next realm?
I haven't lost sleep yet.
Have you slept since?
Nah, we've been pretty busy though. I haven't tried. I am going to sleep, and plus it was consensual. I've killed more people than Cody.
In such a cold manner.
You say that as if it wasn't agreed upon. You say that as if it was all me and my malicious nature. When in actuality we were testing ground, and she was on board. So your guilt trip won't work on me.
Clearly, because your conscience does not seem to exist. The choice is ahead of both of you to make. I will not force you to go anywhere you do not wish to go.
I'm sorry, but you've turned this around into a whole, like, oh, you need to make better choices, when I was merely questioning where your talents will be put best to use as an omnipotent creature, right?
I am not omnipotent.
You basically are. You're like him. You're one of those. You're like a, oh, split myself into a million pieces. This is my last resort. And like, you know.
Nice.
Like, you have knowledge of all of this kind of intricacies and how you know about the heart and you know about the dungeon and you know about the dangers, but you're like, but I'm gonna sit this out and hang out in the city. Why not come with the task force and strike the heart? That seems logical to me. And yet you turn this around as to like, oh, why did you kill someone? Where did that come from? Why the hostility?
I am chained to here. I cannot leave. I cannot enter the tomb. And he opens up his shirt, and you see the center of his chest, and it's split open. And as he opens it up, you notice the cavity in his chest area is empty completely, apart from a glowing light, kind of a pulsating blue light. This ties me to this realm, even in my full form now. And I'm sorry to, again, question what you think, but I am not omnipotent. I can die. I am not all-powerful. I just know a lot of answers for some weird questions.
Okay, so one, you did not clarify the dungeon was in a different dimension. So
I
how
did.
was it? Well, I don't, not to us, I don't think, did he? You said it was a key to a dungeon where there was a heart. Two, you never told me you couldn't leave here. So to get hostile to me for asking genuine questions when the information was not supplied, that's not cool.
Loran's getting pretty fucking articulate.
Yeah.
He's very articulate when he wants to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
I am under a lot of stress at the moment, and I am
Always a
lashing out.
stress, yeah.
Yes. Big black ball and all that.
Yeah.
Yes. My question still stands, though. Will you help or will you not?
I don't know. Honestly, he's calling the shots for this little power duo, so.
No. You can answer. Please. Dude, you're making me look bad in front of the wizard.
Hey, do you remember when we started this campaign and there was like a massive existential dread in the game, but in real life we were just happy tits? And now in real life we have existential global angst, and we can really empathize with everybody in the campaign. just something I noticed. Just something I noticed.
If it can be done, it will be done.
Oh.
That's my answer.
Indeed. Well.
Mysterious.
And he turns to Loran in a brief moment of actual humanity in Trevelyan and looks at you and says, if I have misled you in any way, I apologize.
Yeah, kiss it.
What a gaslighty apology.
Right? If I not admitting to my fault.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
I have
With
never
all due
been my
respect,
fault.
Trev, like, I know you're saying you're under a lot of stress, but you need to remember that I was also plucked and thrown into this with no experience in dealing with this sort of thing, and I'm now expected to take up arms and fight a world-ending threat. I didn't choose this, I didn't want this, I didn't prepare for this, it's not what I wanted. So you can't exactly be like, oh, well, you're not gonna help. No, it's fucking scary, man.
May I impart a gift on you?
That depends.
You are a
Does it
bard.
come with, like, if you give me a gift, will you be like, well, I gave you that gift, so you have to help?
No. It is yours if you choose to help.
So it is kind of laden with, what's the gift, and then I'll choose.
He walks over and, do you still have your loot on you?
Oh, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Everyone got pushed in the fall, like.
Yeah. He reaches over and touches the loot. Just his hand glows slightly and he touches the loot. And
Well, you said you had to tell him. Don't do it yet, because I haven't made my choice. Just tell me.
he puts his hand out just before he says, like, what I'm about to do will give you an ability as a bard, the profession you claim to be. And it will allow you to call upon the bards of the past in order to power up your individual group, or your group as a whole. You will give them health and a boost to combat. It will be a blessing of such through your song with a backing group.
Boy band. I see what you're getting at.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I hear they're very big
I
in
think
Henry.
Loran had that covered for some reason.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really benefit me. I thought the gift would be like for me. That's
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like money.
I thought it'd be something fun that I could like play with,
or like a nice new pair of boots.
Yeah, something that assists the group for Loran.
Yeah, that's it.
This
This is where he's like,
that's like buying someone a goat for a family in Africa as their Christmas present. You know, you're like, this isn't for me. Like, I see the benefit, but like,
he's offering it to you, and he's kind of waiting to see if you make the choice.
are we going to try to do this or what?
As I said, it will be done.
Right, fine, but I'm not getting involved directly. I'll be passive. I'll follow behind them in my own little bubble, and I'll play music, but I'm not fighting anything, and I'm not putting myself on the front lines.
That is all acceptable. And he places his hand on the lute, and it glows blue. It just emanates like a large, blinding light of blue energy. Just pulsates over it.
Can you make it a flying V, please?
And it forms into the shape of a flying V lute.
Excellent.
Tim Wheeler from Ash plays one of them.
I have the stats for that. Naomi, I have the stats for that somewhere. I will dig it up. It's a homebrew piece of thing. I'll send it on to you. So you'll have it for any battle that you may find yourself in, maybe.
You know what would sweeten the deal, Trev? What would be pretty cool?
He kind of twitches a bit when you say Trev.
Whatever, Trevor.
All right, Trev. And I need songs in a while. It's been a while since we almost like got stronger as a group, almost advancing numerically, if you know what I'm like.
I do believe that the gods may have some plans for that.
Oh, good, yeah. Yeah, all right. I play some fun tunes.
And you, Shazarath?
Things will be finished.
He kind of gives you a look, and then kind of just nods absent-mindedly and just walks back to the teleportation circle and picks up the chalk. If you wish, you will find your companions in the barracks.
Well, I probably should reintroduce just to alleviate any concerns.
I suppose we shouldn't we? Fine, I guess.
And he goes back to just finishing off the teleportation circle.
Wayne?
Yeah.
Just before we go to rest, Ogun wants to do something.
Okay.
I want to quickly look around the town and I'm looking for oh god, you know the way people keep falcons and whatnot for delivering messages and stuff like that. Would there be something like that in the town?
You would go and you would find a falconry, or you find a postmaster of some sort. Yes.
Well, no, I'm actually looking to befriend a hawk.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me, please.
Okay. Okay, that's just a 10.
10. It takes you about 2 hours, and you do find at the kind of towards you walk kind of past the large town hall or the main hall where you are in the barracks, and you walk into kind of what used to be a market area that's now been retrofitted for being now it's just countless blacksmiths just making weaponry. And off to one side, then you find a bunch of rangers in tents, as they're kind of their bedrolls rolled out and they're kind of conversing and there's a fire, and they have a bevy of falcons, kind of lined up. And there's a couple on the end that are a bit larger than the other ones. One or two look a bit older as well, but there's a kind of a collection there.
I walk over. I'm not looking for rangers at the moment. Maybe some other time. But I'll walk over and I'll cast speak with animals, and I say, this is how I cast it. You don't need to caw. You don't need to moo. I will give it a go, and I'll speak to you. And I can now speak with
poetry.
I can speak with animals, and I'm just like, how goes the day?
The falcon kind of like turns its head and looks down at you, and kind of tilts its head slightly, and you hear in your head it speaking back. He's like, stressful. We've been sent on many an errand and messaging run, but all have returned. No, some of us haven't returned, and some of us have not gotten responses.
Have you been up there to have a look at that yet?
And it kind of cocks its head up and sort of, and it looks back at you again. You hear in your head, it's like, not a fucking chance.
No. Well, if there's like triple the food that they pay you here, to go up and have a look and come back and tell me what it is, or you can do it in the morning.
And it's again, it kind of tilts its head and looks back up and then looks back at you and not a fucking chance.
Okay, I'll give you 5 pieces of meat, and I'll try and like maybe persuade with the big organizer or whatnot.
He gave me 5 pieces of meat.
So what are you gonna do here? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying just to persuade. Like all I could do. It's like I'm speaking with a normal person now, but I'm trying to persuade him to help me out, and tomorrow or today go up and have a look and tell me exactly what he sees up there.
As you look up, Ogun, as well, you notice that the air around this large globe, it's huge, is crackling red lightning. It looks like it's got a kind of a shield of this around it. Now, you cast speak with animals. You didn't cast animal friendship, did you?
No. I'm just chatting with him. I didn't know that was lightning. I'm here now anyway, so I'm not going to persuade him. When I see the lightning, I'm like, oh,
so,
all right.
I mean, you can speak to him. If you want to try and persuade him, I'll let you roll.
No, I have a bad feeling that if he goes up there, he'll get squished by the lightning. I just wanted to get a literal bird's eye view of what it was, so I could maybe think of what to do when I go to bed and sleep.
Okay.
But no, you know what? Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't fucking go up there either. Here's a couple of pieces of worm. That one I've been chewing on for a while. It's nice. Yeah, thanks. That's all I wanted. So nothing's you haven't seen anything go up there or anything, no?
No, nothing goes near that place.
All right, that's good to know. And we're going up there tomorrow. Lovely. Right. Bye. Well, no. I like it was an idea, but yeah.
Okay, so you head back, yeah. Kim?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. Thank you.
All right. Do I have to do something other than sing that Britney Spears song, You Want 5 Pieces of Meat? I'm going to be singing that for the rest of the week.
Well, obviously 6 would have been the deal, but
oh god. Okay, so you've like that was a bit of a retcon because that was before you had your long rest. You're now having your long rest.
Yeah.
And you've been asleep for about 4 hours. Talazar is now awake because he only needs 4 hours of sleep, and he's sitting cross-legged at the end of the room, kind of just meditating.
Are they all sleeping in the same room?
They're in a kind of a bunk dorm together, yeah.
I figured it was like bunk beds because you'd mentioned barracks.
So the barracks. So they're in a barracks. So the door opens and flanked by 2 guards who then quickly just turn and walk away. Loran walks in.
No.
Oh, you're not, sorry, I thought.
No,
sorry,
no.
I thought you were going there. Sorry, apologies, because I thought that's what you were doing earlier. So yeah, sorry.
Oh no, Loran is dramatic. He is going there for sure. but it's more of like, you know, kicks down the door, strikes a G note.
The guards are
Just
like,
like the cloak is flowing, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm back."
I had said that whenever they were going to their
You're
dig,
behind
I
them.
was going to bring them.
Yeah, you're
Behind them, I'm sorry. I don't think I'd let them kick down the door. I'm sorry. I don't think that would happen.
We locked it.
Roll a performance check. Rosine roll a dexterity saving throw to see if you stop Loran from doing the performance.
Oh, okay. Because I would imagine I'm trying to kind of help, but also shepherd. But okay, so I'm going to do a what saving throw, Wayne?
I'll let Kim roll first.
Yeah, let Kim roll. You're gonna roll dexterity, but let Kim roll and see what you get.
7. Yeah, wait.
7. Loran rolled 30.
30.
30.
No! You're
Very initially, he was bang bang into the room.
Yeah.
That was a
Loran
very sexy nat 20 for me. So
Loran just sweeps past you. You are just like it's like you're moving through butter. And Loran just sweeps in. Describe what you do, Loran.
exactly as I did, like literally kicks the door down. The cloak of billowing is like on, like strikes a Gino like the start of the Black Parade and says, "Don't worry, I'm back."
Oh my god.
Talazar's eyes shoot open, and the rest of you each are kind of jolted out of your sleep as you look up and see the glowing god that is Loran stride into the room with his now V-shaped loot. And then the large dragonborn form of Abigail Hemlock standing behind him. And Rosine.
This is my new girlfriend. She's pretty hot.
I'm quite embarrassed.
This is my other new girlfriend. She seems cool.
Super embarrassed, and also the trademark, the rouging.
Little anime rouging.
Yeah, and I'm gonna head.
You don't start having nosebleeds, you're all right. Okay.
It's funny because I had one before we started. So I'm gonna get into the room once the Black Parade is finished entering.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So Aratir's been jolted awake and sees fucking the two heads wander in, or Loran fucking bust his way in, and
Was amazing. 30.
That's the highest roll of the campaign.
That's most impressive.
she lifts up her battle axe and she's like, "What in God's name are you two doing here?"
You know Abby?
We met
Yes,
on the
and I'm
road.
perplexed as to how you two have hooked up. And Loran, I thought you were out. You were like out. That was it. You were done.
I was, but then I was promised that I wouldn't really have to do that much.
So why even bother in the first place? I thought you're like, I don't understand it.
If it seems like I'm going to die in the process of all of this, I am going to nope out and run away like a coward. But it's complicated.
I turn to Aratir and say, "Did this one wrong you?"
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't counting on setting my sights on you for quite some time until I sought you out myself.
Yeah. Well, here I am. What a reunion. This is so nice.
There's a phrase. There's a phrase that
My man's point to Talazar. Who is that?
Talazar, this is just like, and he just goes back to meditating.
He's not even bothered.
Not even bothered.
Anyway, me and Abby are here to fuck shit up. Right, pal?
Whose benefit?
We know what she did. Well, does Olga know what she did?
What?
You know what? I know what Norman did. I seen Norman did. Do we?
Loran and he.
Sorry,
And I'm
apologies.
they. There is no she in this equation.
No she in the equation.
Does Olga know what Loran did? I know what. No, I seen Norman do it, but do I know Loran?
Well, you were
there when
there.
we were in the tiny hut.
Wasn't in the tiny hut that you.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought the stabbing was outside.
Yes,
Stabbing
was.
was outside.
Oh well, then.
Oh,
I don't know. Ogun was attacking me at the time. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So I'm gonna say yeah.
There was a lot going on in that room at the time. A lot going on. You were all in the room when it happened, apart from Talazar.
yes.
Oh yeah, the plotting happened in the tiny hut.
Yes.
Yeah.
We only, but as far as we're concerned,
You saw them.
we saw Loran fucking stab Codeine, and we only have Loran's word that it was consensual. Correct?
Yeah.
Anyone got a spirit board we could catch up with her?
At any point, if anyone wants to roll an insight check on Loran about whether it was consensual or not, you're perfectly capable of doing that.
I want to do that.
The situation may change if that is the case.
Yeah, I'm going to roll an insight check, please, if you don't mind.
I rolled a 4, so my gut is telling me that he's okay. Yeah.
Alex, I rolled a 5.
5. You can't tell whether Loran is telling the truth or not, in regards to whether it was consensual.
You know
You're
what?
not
You
sure.
know what I'm gonna do actually? And I'm gonna cast a very brief zone of truth. And tell them exactly the spell so they know. Right. In the tiny hut, I proposed to Codeine that this might be beneficial because if one of us died, then one of his pawns might be out of the way. Codeine agreed, and yes, it was a little bit of fun. Sue me. But she did agree, and it was a plan hatched between the two of us. Zone of truth.
And right there, you all hear the truth coming from Loran about the situation, that Codeine willingly put her life on the line in order to try and test the situation with the evil you were dealing with at the time. And Loran worked well within the confines of that agreement with Codeine.
Oh, that stupid headstrong bitch. God, I wish she was here so I could yell at her.
I dropped the zone of truth because I don't want to get in any uncomfortable questions.
That's it. That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Now,
Speaking
Norman,
of truth, happy.
you're
Come on.
Yeah, you're standing there. Do you have that face on you on Abigail's mush at the moment? Like it's just.
Generally kind of just like glancing around, impassive for now.
Okay. Talazar stands up from his meditation and kind of moves over after hearing the conversation that just happened with Loran. And he kind of like nods his head. He's like, I respect that there was a choice made.
Thank you, random citizen.
And he just gives you a side eye and he just looks at Abigail. Might I ask, prior to our meeting on the road, have we met before?
The zone of truth has dropped, has it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Could I cast Zone of Truth?
If you want.
On what grounds?
I
There does have to be, because I know Rosine is like, after hearing all of this now, you're kind of hearing revelations about things that...
Yeah. I found out that one of their party killed another member of their other party, but it's actually if Ryan will allow that there was a pause before he answered Talazar, I'd probably do it then.
There was a pause because genuinely, and it is the running gag, but it is a true thing. He is genuinely trying to remember.
The thing about it is that Norman always forgets who Talazar. Everyone always forgets who Talazar is.
Right, yeah.
Loran knows who he is and
Random
is
to be a
joking.
dick, yeah.
Norman genuinely cannot like, not to be that guy, but apart from Ogun, to Norman, all of you look the same. Like, that's
More
just
tentacles. I need to get more tentacles to get Senpai to notice me.
If you get more tentacles, then he'll at least remember who you are.
Yeah.
He knows octopi really well. People like, as long he's kind of like he's like a dog. He just kind of sees like for you creatures, he just sees like limbs, and he's like, oh, I probably know one of them. He only knows who Loran is because he can tell by the horns.
I'm gonna say I cast it, even though I'm wasting it because I said I'd cast it. So let's not just be saying I'm doing this and then it's not gonna work. Oh well, then I don't do it. So I'm gonna expend this.
Is it a case of you see Loran drop the zone of truth and you just want to keep it up, or is it because you're testing Norman?
No, the delay in answering gave me pause, and I think like the it's not right, but I'm kind of
okay.
I'm threatened by the Dragonborn. I feel like a rogue Dragonborn is more dangerous than a rogue Tiefling. I've kind of been. That's Abigail.
You're world weary about that. You're on defensive right now about everything, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cast.
I'm not para like a recently deceased member of the group, but I'm just being no, I'll cast it because he delayed in answering, even though it's Norman. So I don't know, it's worthless. So I'm
we can tell when it's been cast, right?
Yeah, you can make.
But also, Norman, what's your immunities? You have immunities against certain things.
I don't against that. No, I made a saving throw against it, and I.
You failed.
So is this a wisdom saving throw?
It is, yeah.
Charisma saving.
Charisma, sorry. Charisma's wisdom, yeah.
Okay, well, I got a 21, so I'm not affected, and I know the spell has been cast now.
Yes.
Oh, y'all do, yeah.
I look at her, and I'm like...
no, everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you pass
it. You see it happen.
Yeah.
But you aren't affected by it, Loran.
And she knows that, Kim knows that you've failed it.
Sorry, you there points at Kim's character.
We'll see.
What? She hasn't told me.
Loran won't
know. Also, she hasn't told me. But what's your agenda here with that spell?
I am muscle. I am a protector. I'm a guardian. I am assistance. I am a do-gooder.
Right. It's just sort of inter-party business, and you think you can cast a zone of truth on a simple conversation between meeting?
I am a member of the city council, and
we're not from this city, so we're not really under your...
The other members of your party, and I apologize, the ones that you did not kill, consensually or not, they have been recruited by the city. Our quest is a great one, and I don't want unknowns causing any problems, and I do not mean disrespect. I really don't. I have been casting a weary eye over anyone that has come in recently, just to make sure that the plan goes ahead. Are you part of the plan?
Despite us coming in, being given the go-ahead by Swift and the Claw, having audience with Trevelyan, remaining fine, reuniting with our friends, and yet you still decide to cast these passive spells. Interesting.
I'm just curious about your companion, and I apologize. But I apologize that I'm sorry that you feel this way. But I promise it is not personal. You can take it personally. You will find me to be very straight shooting. I wasn't trying to do anything surreptitiously. I'm just making sure that you are not.
Doubt, but all right.
Funny.
You may find me. I feel like you may find me pious, but it's been known by people that I am that way, but I will when I'm on your team, I will fight hard for everyone on my team.
One would think that serving on the city council and the guard would lead one to learn to tread lightly.
I fear I'm not a diplomat. I've never been a diplomat.
Norman, can you speak in that voice?
Yep.
What did you say, Wayne?
What was that, Abigail?
Abigail has left this building.
Okay. Norman, you cheeky fuck.
You get out now.
Talazar puts a hand on Ogun. He's like, peace, friend. Peace, friend.
Rodent, I swear to me and everything else, you have been more than useful, more than capable, perfectly friendly, but today is not the day.
Shelby, have you eaten yet? Because I think they're going to get the chance.
Speak to me like that again and I will
Talazar
Bring it on.
Talazar stepped in between Ogun and Norman, and he points at Ogun. He's like, peace, friend. They have been sent here, as they have just said. You heard, Loran. They have been sent here on the behest of the council and Trevelyan. We must find
Did you not hear that whole thing where we were like, Codeine agreed? You need to get over it, man.
There was something shiny on the roof. I was looking up there. I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
It's kind of a you problem. That's something like I would say to get out of something.
I'm going to turn to the squad, the original squad, and say,
right, he's causing problems right this minute now, and you want to go on a quest with them again so they can betray us. They can talk to one of us and get us to let them kill us.
This
Talazar takes Ogun and
themselves.
Talazar takes Ogun and puts them off to one side. I kind of ask them to calm down. You need to calm, friend. We have a big fight ahead of us. And we have to make allies with those who are going to aid us in that fight. We will be home soon enough. Peace.
I'm going to turn to Norman and say, who are you really?
In your tongue, the devourer.
And your charges, your quest is what?
Homecoming.
I
am a great distance away from my point of origin. I wish sorely to return there.
I turn to the others and say, are you happy to permit this person to help?
Okay, nice.
Talazar kind of stops and looks down at his arm and looks at Ogun and then looks up and says, I have made many an alliance in my time. Some have cost me dearly. If this will end it all, I will fight with him once more.
Well, the way I see it is better to have him inside our castle pissing out. He is a formidable foe, I have to say. He can bring the ruckus. Can our Norman?
He seems to
protect
be.
your neck.
Yeah. I suppose. I mean, if you're happy to have him, being this powerful and in your ranks, when the Badger seems so against it, it seems like having a very, very powerful individual in your team that you can't trust might not be helpful.
Yeah, we're having the weird uncle over for dinner. There's always one.
There's nothing to mistrust at this moment. After all, thanks to some heavy-handed diplomacy from the non-diplomat, I can't lie. So, which is an unusual circumstance.
Are you going to damage your team?
Are they going to cross me?
What do you consider crossing you?
If we fail.
Yeah, but if we fail, they're going to be dead anyway. So I mean, like,
I was going to say if we collectively fail or if you two fail.
If
Fail at what?
collectively, if we fail, and you know that is no word of a lie. However, I have been shockingly patient given the circumstances. And that shows that he genuinely believes that. I look at Kim's character. This, fine. You get one. I look at Ogun. What happened before? That was your one. No more.
Talazar just keeps Ogun in check. Keeps his
I'm
hand
going to
on.
growl at him.
Yeah, you can growl away.
And I want
Shelby's in
more.
the corner, just like. So Talazar turns, is like, I suggest you all rest. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. I will keep watch.
for the record, looks at Kim's character. Offers off the table. You've kind of ruined it for me. Not that into you anymore.
I am going to just adjust my jerkin, whatever. I'm gonna just touch my holy symbol and take a breath. I am going to I'm just gonna ask
Your holy symbol.
if they're happy. Oi. I pocketed it. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Norman and Loran if they're staying here for the remainder of the night.
No, thank you.
Okay. Would you like to be shown to another place?
Yes.
Quite.
Okay. I'm going to bring them with me.
Cool. So you bring them off and wind them through a different part of the barracks, and you bring them into a similar room. Same thing, bunk beds. There's only about 3 or 4 in this room. There's 2 sets of bunk beds in this room because it looks like it used to be a large storeroom that was converted into barracks. But it's clean, and there's clean bedding on the beds themselves, and you can support them there.
Okay. I am going to just bid them good night, we'll leave, and exhale while I try to work out what's after happening. What have you gotten yourself in for, Rosine? Oh,
you all, unless there's anything else the group want to do at this point, you're all good?
Yeah.
You all, those of you who need sleep or do sleep, put your heads down and eventually sleep finds you. It's restless. Loran, you're out cold. It's the longest you have walked. Yeah, you are just out, like, just out. And Norman is just, taking Norman is probably just sitting in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. Norman is still thinking about getting those pieces of meat. He's like,
I sent a charcuterie board.
Yeah. The rest of the group put their heads down and sleep eventually finds them. Tomorrow brings an interesting event, an interesting quest ahead of you. As Trevelyan plans to send you into an unknown tomb to search for the heart of...
Dungeon
On Saturday night?
That's where we'll leave this month's episode of Pubcast Plays Dungeons, right?
Woo!
Fair play to all involved. Well done. That
I
was
was so scared of Ogun. He was so mad.
so angry.
Pieces of meat all round. Woo!
Folks, thank you so much to our sponsors, Dublin City Comics. Congratulations.
All right, the boys.
I think it was Hellion Fire who won.
Yeah.
Fantasy Mysteries. I'll send you a DM if I can track you down on socials and find out where I need to send this. And enter in to get this copy of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, as well as this comic book right here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts. We're on Twitter, the Irish Pubcast, on Facebook, the Irish Pubcast. That's there. So on Instagram as well. And just to let you know, guys know, I will be one of the DMs on the D8 Dungeon or Romancing the Dungeon charity stream happening on July 31st. I am DMing. The category is murder, which is a drag show inspired murder mystery. We've got a great bunch of players. That's going to be,
darling.
yes. It's taking place in the 7:30 slot on the evening into about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So they are timed. So there's a particular time slot we're going to fit in. It's a one shot, so it should be a bit of fun, a bit of crack. So check it out on Twitch. So D8 Dungeon on Twitch. You checked it out on Twitter as well. You're going to see me tweeting about it and resharing it all over the social medias. So do check it out. So thanks for that. Folks, thank you so much. Thank you to all the players. You were phenomenal. It was brilliant. And we will see you on the next episode. We are getting to endgame, folks. It's nearly over. Bye.